Once we get into it, I'm sure it'll be fine. Good afternoon, good
Okay.
evening, and good morning from wherever you are, and welcome to Friday night's Fisting of the World, or as we like to call it, the world's gone insane. Let's talk about it, and we have a lot to talk about, so we're going to get into it. And Sam, what would you like to start with? Why should I
Well,
always
let's
start? You take the
yeah
reins, mate.
we have a smorgasbord of things to talk about, but I want to talk about something that I'm not too sure about. So we'll go with TV and films for 200, Ginger, and start talking about Jurassic Park.
Right. Okay. So, um, because we are completely short of ideas in Hollywood, I'll read the article here. Oh, hang on. Sharing is caring. Why don't I just share the article? Let me get into it. Share screen. Oh, there's too many steps to sharing the screen on this fucking thing, and I really hate it. It should be just one click and done.
One
Right, there we
click and done.
go. All right. We've confirmed that a new Jurassic World movie, a complete reboot, is being fast tracked at Universal with the franchise's original Jurassic Park screenwriter, David Koepp. He adapted the first two movies from 93 and 97 as A Lost World from Michael Crichton's novels. The new movie will be a completely fresh take on a Jurassic era with Jurassic World cast members Pratt, Howard not expected to return, nor the original trilogy's thespians Goldblum, Laura Dern, Sam Neill. The film will be executive produced by Spielberg through Amblin Entertainment. So again, they're just attaching his name to it. Frank Marshall, blah blah blah. Okay. Josh, 6 titles. Yes, this is when I executive vice president production. So it's just basically a complete reboot. That was the article. Well, that was a fucking no point in sharing that. like I
That
I don't,
yeah.
again, this is Universal. They have two franchises. They have Fast and Furious and they have Jurassic Park. Why not just combine the two and just make, Fast and Furious Park, Jurassic Park, whatever, and be a lot easier. Hello, Vance. Hello, Rick B. Your thoughts, Zam?
Nobody wants
Oh,
this.
sorry, guys, you're here. Zam, pay attention.
Nobody wants this in the slightest. This is without doubt the most stupidest thing. Create a go try look. Have another shot at the monster franchise. You got Dracula. You got Frankenstein. You got all of these great things. Make it work. I've always said regarding remakes, make it work. Like you shot Frankenstein to shit. You made him some sort of fucking like was it Thomas Jane or was it fucking Aaron Eckhart who played Frankenstein? That version they did, it was so stupid.
It was on a card.
Yeah, like don't do stuff like that. What are you thinking about? Like make decent horror movies. Like do a throwback to classic Hammer horrors and stuff like that. That's what they need to do with some of the other stuff they got in their in the artillery. Instead of doing this is terrible. This is going to take them down, in my opinion.
Yeah,
Well, did you two see the last Jurassic Park film?
It was awful.
No. I watched Jurassic World when it came back, and it was bloody awful. I have no intention of watching anything the other two films. There's just no point to it at all. Hi, Christine.
Hello, Chris.
I mean, I think Sam. I'm not sure if it's this year or if it's next year, but I think Guillermo del Toro's got a Frankenstein film coming up that is a Universal monster movie remake. I think there's another one. I think it's Nosferatu. That might be the Dracula remake that's coming out, and I'm sure there's a Invisible Man one coming out as well. Because they are trying to do that. They're just trying to do it properly this time rather than.
Well, Mary Shelley's Frankenstein with God, why am I forgetting his name? Yeah, but the British actor,
Kenneth Branagh.
Kenneth Branagh was really good. That was really fucking good. It was so tragic. It was unbelievably tragic and very
one.
Yeah, really tragic, and it was really good to see. Really good to see John Cleese in this. Really good to see John Cleese in a serious role. I want more shit like that. You know what I mean? Even though his role was minor.
People hate the film, but it's bloody underrated as fuck.
It's a great film.
It's a great film.
That's a film that we should actually put on. Do you want when we do the Hall of Fame stuff, that's a film that deserves to be the Hall of Fame because it's really good.
And it's one of the last.
That's a good shout. Yeah, write that down, Gary. Remember it.
It's
one of the, in my opinion, it's arguably the last, if not one of the last, decent horror films of that particular monster era. Because I can't remember a good vampire film after that, or a good werewolf film after that.
There's been loads of good vampire films.
Dracula, to be more precise.
I was going to say, like, because you got
nothing major.
Let the Last One In, A Woman Walks Home Alone at Night. That was brilliant.
But more to do with Dracula, that particular vampire. But I need to quickly respond to Daniel Vance here. Gary Graham dead at age of 73. Alex Peters, Daniel Vance, on his stream with some of us, will be doing a eulogy towards for Gary Graham. He knew Graham pretty well, and they'll be talking about his filmography and other stuff regarding him. So keep an eye out for that. That'll be happening later tonight.
I checked who he was. I remember him. He was in Alien Nation.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember him from that. That's about it. I don't remember him in anything else much.
Even I don't remember from Alien Nation. I mean, you got Terrence Stamp, you got Mandy Patinkin, and you've got fucking James Caan. You know, and so unfortunately, I don't remember him from that, but I believe he's in it, obviously. So,
well, he was only in, looking at it here, it was only in 22 episodes, but I loved Alien Nation.
The series. Oh,
the series, not the film.
Yeah. Oh, fair enough.
Yeah, the series. And yes, you see, this is again why I hate Alex Kurtzman, complete hack of a human being.
Did he do that? I had no idea.
Yeah, with the Bobby.
Fucking idiot he is. Again, nobody ever dies in Star Wars because they need to bring it back for that marketing money.
No, this is where you're wrong about Bad Batch. This is where you're wrong because you got 5 members of the Bad Batch, and one of them died at the end of season 2. And I'm spoiling it just to prove you wrong.
About that, you dumb fuck.
Well, why did you click on that and then mention Star Wars and say nobody ever dies? You fucking
because of the last part of the sentence, you slag.
How am I supposed to fucking know when you say shit like that? All right.
Damn racist.
Yeah.
Last Voyage of the Dimitri was a good Dracula movie. No, it wasn't. I know.
I'm sick and tired of recent ones because it's just love stories, and not only that, these vampires are supposed to be 200 years old, and they're going after 16-year-olds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Gotta love it. But you know what? It was written by a woman, so it's fine.
Doesn't matter. Still creepy.
I would say probably Bram Stoker's Dracula was the last decent Dracula movie. Maybe.
That's in the 1990s.
No, yeah, exactly. The one with Gerard Butler.
Actually, I'm actually going to disagree with you, Sam. I thought the remake of The Invisible Man that came out a few years ago was really, really good.
Yeah, I'm talking Dracula.
Blade's not bad.
I'm talking Dracula. Yeah, Jesus Christ, man. Pay attention. You're as bad as that.
But Blade Trinity, which had Dracula in it, who was called Drake, was fucking awful.
Yeah, that was bad.
Yeah.
Look, you pissed Christine off. She's left now. Yeah. You triggered her. She left because you didn't like Blade 3.
Yeah. Who does? You find me somebody who does, man, and we'll fight. That person will probably think the room is worthy of an Oscar.
Oh, when the world thought that, who was the guy that directed that fucking film?
What film?
Blade Trinity.
Yeah.
Oh, the guy who co-wrote the Dark Knight trilogy. What's his name now? What's his name now?
Hang on, I'll write.
It's like three names, isn't it?
My
Hello, man.
David Goyer. That's it.
Yeah, David Goyer. Yeah.
David Goyer. Okay, writer.
Invisible Man movie.
Not director. Hollow Man is the best. I love that film.
No, the Invisible Man that they did recently was the best Invisible Man movie.
I haven't seen it. I'll have to watch
it.
One that I did like that gets shit on a lot is Memoirs of an Invisible Man. Now, granted, I haven't seen it in a long time, but that was the only one of the few
Chevy Chase.
Yeah, Chase.
Yeah. I enjoyed it for what it was. But
Yeah, I like Tiffany.
anyway, so
Yeah.
I want to get back to this one here. This has really pissed me off now. Okay, because she had a good send off when she got murked, and now they're bringing her back.
Let's not jump to conclusions. In my opinion, that's a clone.
It's still bringing her back. Don't like it. Don't like
It's
it.
a-
Like, just let sleeping dogs lie. You know what I mean? There's no need to bring her back. She had a good sent off. A clone is just a MacGuffin to get me out of get out of jail free cards.
Well, they done that
pisses me
with
off.
Darth Maul, and in my opinion, it wasn't good enough because I wanted fucking Ray Park. I didn't want a fucking cartoon. I wanted Ray Park.
Yeah.
And we never got that. You know,
We almost did. If Solo wasn't
In
successful,
Solo.
we would have had Ray Park because he was in that.
yeah, he was in that. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
yeah, you know, we wanted more Maul, but it is what it is. Okay, moving on. So, Doctor Who. Just a quick one on Doctor Who. The companion is leaving
Oh God.
after I think series 1 or 2. I don't know if they've already filmed the second. No, series 1 and done. She's off, and you know the anti-woke mob have kind of jumped on this, and like I had when I logged into the Nerd Nation YouTube to do some tweaking of things, right there was two fucking videos from these fucking idiots, you know, like the what's that group of idiots, the Fandom Menace type people. There were like, oh, woke Doctor Who falling apart, it's all over. And it was just like, calm the fuck down. You don't know. Her story arc might have finished. What world do we live in now where somebody leaving, they jump to so many conclusions in a fucking show where there have been so many single season companions? It has
Correct.
gone beyond parody now. You people, you're not serious people. You're just looking for shit to jump onto, to crap on without knowing the facts. Okay? The likeliest scenario is her story arc has come to an end. You know why? Because many other of their many other companions, their story arcs have come to a natural end and they've moved on. They like to change up the Doctor after every season, keep things fresh.
Fresh.
All right. So you're doing my nothing. Just shut the fuck up and stay the fuck away from Doctor Who. The most woke show in history, and you're complaining that it's woke. It was doing woke before woke was even a fucking thing. It was doing it during the fucking second wave feminist movement. It was doing it during environmental disaster movements, all this kind of shit. Am I right, guys?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So, hey, fuck off. Cat trying to bite my wires. Dumb fuck. Okay. So it's just like enough is enough. All right. She's won. She's done. She got a heartfelt send off from the Doctor as well. So, end of. Gaz, your thoughts? I got you because you're a Who fan.
Right. So this is really just annoyed the piss out of me. It's like, look, it's because she's been replaced by an Indian actress, an actress of Indian descent, not an Indian actress, but an actress of Indian descent. That's what's been because she was a white woman, a white blonde woman. I was like thinking, well, hang on a second. We've had loads of flaming actresses of many colours who've just been one and dones. Like I think Billy from Capaldi's run was one and done. I mean, why does it matter? Like the thing is that if Millie has got other jobs on, which she probably does because she's probably got busy now because she's famous from not only Corrie but Doctor Who, she's probably going to have other stuff on that probably you're going to take away, and probably like. And Russell T Davies is like, instead of keeping you contracted to here where you can't expand your career, I'm going to let you go and do whatever you want somewhere else.
I mean,
and you can always come back.
Every single companion, at least the ones that I remember, okay, have gone on to have great careers.
Mm-hmm.
Who was the first black female companion you had? She was
Oh, what's the name? Martha Freeman, I think, is a real name.
Yeah, that's it.
No, Freeman something or other. Freeman
Agyeman. That's it.
Yeah, that's it.
Agyeman.
Yeah, she went
like,
on.
She went off and she ended up being part of the Law and Order series that
and
the
and all that
UK
sort of
version.
stuff.
Yeah, and all that kind of stuff. And she just like done a film recently as well. So they've all gone off to have great careers. So
I think she was one and done as well.
I think she was a one and done. Yeah, 1.5 done.
She's
or
black.
Like
so there's where's your woke stuff then?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but it only matters now. That's the thing, isn't it? Like,
it only matters now. They're jumping on
the last couple of years. Yeah, the last couple of years, these things have become an issue. These things were never an issue years ago. They're only an issue now because people want to make it an issue. They want to talk about it. It is clicked. All of these sort of things. They want to fucking complain. They feel they're fucking being the great replacement theory. All of that shit. And that's why they go with it. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, and you're replacing her with an Indian actress. You know how many fucking Indian actresses and how many parts we have here for Indian people? They're a dime a dozen. It's just a normal part of, like, if you live in England, you'd fucking understand. It's natural. You know what I mean? Like, stay the fuck out of what you don't know. All right, this is a British thing. Stay the fuck away from it. All right, it's as simple as that. And Russell T Davies is going to deliberately push your buttons, and I don't want that to happen because I don't want Doctor Who to become yet another thing versus Twitter. All right,
versus the twats on fame in YouTube or whatever.
No, that's what I mean. Twitter. That when I say Twitter, I mean that crowd. That crowd. Be they SJWs, be they anti-SJWs. It's Twitter. That's their name. They're called Twitter from now on. And just let the story play out. We'll see how it goes. The only thing I don't want to see from fucking Doctor Who now is Disney's influence on it. Because if I sniff Disney's influence, that's it. I'm out. I want it to remain strictly British, have a strictly British vibe to it. No Americana bollocks in it. I'm sick of that shit. American culture is a fucking cancer on everything in this bloody world. And I don't want it seeping into our own products. There, I said it. Don't care. Fuck America.
Yeah, I agree. Imagine if Harry Potter was Americanized. Oh my god. I mean, I couldn't envision that.
Yeah, Christine.
And whether you like America or not, the British television has its own flair. Why screw that? It's perfect on its own. We don't need a carbon copy of something that's already being produced in another country like the States.
Exactly. And it's nothing like, America has its own flavor and it's got an awesome flavor for the stuff that it does. But I don't want it seeping into our stuff. I like things to keep secret. It's like me, I don't want to start seeing fucking American stuff start turning into Chinese stuff because they want to bang into that market kind of stuff,
Yeah.
Keep everything, what made it great within its own little world. And it's as simple as that. Mikey Smith was the first black companion, not Martha Jones. Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, that's true. Okay. Black female then. Sorry.
Yeah,
Vance.
Mickey Smith was like 1980s.
But he's right. Yeah, Mickey Smith, who was played by Noel. What's his name?
Oh, I know you mean Noel. What's the name? The guy who got done for being a bit of an idiot.
An absolute piece of shit. Yeah, yeah, him. But anyway, so that's that with Doctor Who. Okay, moving on. The woke Oscars. Doesn't nominate Greta Gerwig or Margot Robbie, but nominates Ryan Gosling for his role in Ken. Oh, no, Clark. Thank you, Vance. Okay, first of all,
crickets on the Fandom Menace side. Absolute crickets.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Wasn't the whole point of that movie?
What's that?
The whole point of that movie, Barbie?
It was about male empowerment, wasn't it?
I don't think so.
Look, the only crime being committed here is Greta Gerwig not being nominated. If you look at the female nominations, there's Margot there is no room for her on that list. But Greta Gerwig not being nominated is a fucking crime because it's the fact. Well, I mean, Margot should. I don't know if they nominate producers. I don't really follow the Oscars, but
if it's best film.
If it's best film, then you know they should know. It's got 8 other nominations, so it's not like it's a complete snub. But because you know the man got nominated and the 2 ladies got snubbed, they're making a big hoo-ha about it. It's like I think they're going to be okay. I mean, Margot Robbie made $55 million off of that fucking film on the profits, and Greta Gerwig's career is just going to skyrocket from here. But she should have got the nod. Ryan Gosling was the best part of that film, though.
Look, regarding Ryan Gosling, he was the best part of that film, but not every enjoyable role means Oscar. And Ryan Gosling's performance, as good as it was, I didn't think, not one point did I ever thought to myself, "Whoa, he needs to get a fucking Oscar for that," you know, because that wasn't the case. He just played a douchey character, and he was very enjoyable playing that, you know, that douchey character so well. But that wasn't Oscar worthy, please.
Yeah,
it's not a stretch. It's not a stretch to play that type of character. You don't have to go deep into your soul and become this amazing, different, like unique character. He's just playing the douchey kind of.
Yeah, but I think in the context of it, again, this is the Oscars we're dealing with here, so not exactly a reputable copy. It's the fact that he was such a standout. Like it was the buzz that his performance created. That's probably what's led to his nomination. Because if you think about all the different performances, and this is in a supporting role, this isn't, you know, best actor. This is best.
Regardless.
Supporting actor.
You know, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So in that regard, yes, it should get nominated. But if it was best actor,
no. Best actor, supporting, or best actor, they are still in that. Those, regardless of whether it be the supporting or the main, people acknowledge how good those performances are. And even though I do acknowledge that he was very enjoyable in the film and I liked his performance, I don't necessarily think he's worthy of an Oscar, even as fucking supporting actor. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's fair
ridiculous.
Okay, Gary.
I thought it was the biggest piece of bullshit that I've heard this very week. The thing is that it should go to the right performance. Fuck this whole we have to. I mean, that's the opposite of female empowerment, isn't it? The whole thing about female empowerment is that you get things based on your merits. If it's a shit, if the direction was as good as it should have been, Cecilia's song for Past Lives should have got it, and she did. She's female. Why is that not we're talking about? And she's also Asian. Or maybe that's the reason, because he's not a female white woman. That's what. See, that's the thing that's pissing me off, is that Celia's song, woman, Asian, got nominated for a better film and better direction. Okay, Greta Gerwig. Now again, I'm not talking off Barbie. Barbie was a really good film, but I'm saying Past Lives was a lot better film. If you've actually seen it, and I'm saying that it should be based on merit, not based upon we just want to fit a quota. And that's the opposite of female empowerment. It should be about
you don't deserve an Oscar because you have a vagina or a vagina of color.
So how but how is somebody who's best female actress going to win if they don't have a vagina?
Christine.
Guys, sorry, that was great points. I think you really did a great job explaining that, and I would agree with that. But Tazam earlier said the supporting actor role is just as important or as big as the supporting actor. Well, in Harry Met Sally, the supporting actress award went to a woman who had one line, and all she said was, "I'll have what she's having."
She won an award for that.
Yes.
You see why the Oscars are a fucking joke. But
I mean, because
must have been a slim year.
Yeah, I mean that's throughout the history of the Oscars though. Like Judi Dench for the award she won the Oscar for, I think she was only on screen for about 10 minutes. And and you know Anthony Hopkins, you know, he won the Oscar for I think it's like 15 minutes or something he was on screen for best actor.
What's the name of Aunt May actress from No Way Home and all that shit? What's the name of the actress?
Marissa Tomei.
Marissa Tomei won Best Actress or Supporting Actress for her performance in My Cousin Vinny. My Cousin fucking Vinny, for fuck's sake. I mean, it's just a standard comedy film. You know, I never thought that she was worthy of Best Actress. I thought she was good, but I never thought Best Actress. You know what I mean? Am I going over the top
She
there?
was phenomenal in that role. I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to disagree with you. Her timing, her cadence, she just everything about what she said when she was on a stand, how she delivered her lines. I think she did a brilliant job.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Mm.
I find it a bit weird, you know, like because comical performances are supposed to be at time maybe a little bit exaggerated to give you that bit of comedy, and so that's why I always find comedy performances.
This is what
you
got
know,
her the Oscar. It was the
Comedy
monologue.
very rarely gets
you know, like
award. They don't because drama,
like
I guess, is technically more difficult.
yeah.
But
Well,
occasionally a comedy should get something.
no. Comedy is difficult in its own right because to make people laugh is not easy. And the one role which was comedic but at the same time wasn't, but it was a comedy drama, so to speak, is obviously Tom Hanks's performance as Forrest Gump. But that was fantastic. Oh, by the way, Cheeto, I won't be able to join you guys tonight because I've got nothing to offer. So I don't want to come across as embarrassing for you with your interview with Alex Peters when talking about Gary Graham. But I have no idea who he is.
Me neither.
Okay, well, moving on. Jon Stewart is returning to the that show. Zam, you take this
The
one. I
Daily
don't
Show.
really shit.
All right. A lot of people assume that he's coming back full time. He isn't. He'll be definitely doing the Monday episodes of the Daily Show because those are the most popular episodes of the Daily Show during the course of the week. But he is coming back. It's a bit bittersweet to tell you the truth. I didn't mind Trevor Noah too much. I know he wasn't everyone's cup of tea. But I know he wasn't your cup of tea for sure. But I thought he was a reasonably good replacement. But at the same time, I do think sometimes coming back is not always the best thing, and it'll be interesting to see how audiences take to Jon Stewart now because I do feel the political landscape has changed a lot more since Jon Stewart left. You know, which has been close to 10 years now. You know, so it'll be interesting to see where they go, where things go with this. It'll be, but he's only going to be part time. He's only going to be on part time. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, go on, Christine, before I chime in.
I'm looking forward to it. I think if anyone has a chance at doing it well, it's him. Because you're right, when they try and bring someone or something back after 10 years, it very rarely works out. But if someone's got a shot, he does. And I look forward to it.
I have my replacement, by the way. My replacement should be Jordan Kepler. I love Jordan Kepler. I think Jordan Kepler will be a superb replacement. Give him the fucking gig full time, in my opinion.
Gaz.
All right, anything that's annoying the right wingers who going, oh, he's gone full into woke an ideology. That's literally what they're saying. It's like, did you not watch the fucking show before he left it? It's like ridiculous stuff. It's like anything that gets that people that exercised is good. And I like Jon Stewart. He does a lot of things. Like he did a lot of things for the 9/11
responders,
emergency work reporters, like going to Congress
and veterans as well.
Yeah. He does a lot of important work for that. So anything like that, I'm going to flip mind, and hopefully he uses his platform to raise those issues. And the thing is we're not willing to fall into this is woke. You know, is a criticism that seems to be the hold on for everything. And I just feel that he could suffer for that, and he might just get carpet bombed because of that.
But it doesn't matter who. They're going to call everyone and anything on the left or left-leaning woke. It's going to happen.
Anything they don't like woke. So it's gonna yeah. And you know, look, I still see Jon Stewart do his stuff like when he was talking to certain politicians on some of the other stuff on the other shows that he had, and he was absolutely ripping them apart with logic and reasoning. And
didn't he
that
go before Congress or something?
Yeah, that as well. And
that was for the 9/11 responders to get them compensated because the Republicans, the right wingers, fucked them over. It makes me kind of help. But let me just chime in quickly here on with Jon Stewart. So it's bittersweet for two reasons. Number one, he had a great show on Apple TV called The Problem
That's
with
the
Jon
one.
Stewart.
That's the one
All
I'm
right?
talking about.
That's
Yeah.
brilliant. So first of all, let's remember that he's been very active outside of after leaving the one show. He's been doing a lot of different stuff, and one of those was when he signed up to The Problem with. But his show got cancelled because of something to do with China, so Chinese censorship or whatever. So they cancelled his show so they don't piss off the Chinese market for that. So fuck Apple again for that shit, because your freedom of speech is fine unless it hurts profits. So on that note, it's kind of annoying that it's coming back to the one show as well, because you got pricks like Zaslav that kind of who runs Paramount now? Who cares? But he could easily just go off and do another show. He could just go do his own thing, which he probably will. I mean, if it's only going to be part-time, and all of that. But it's he's not woke. He's just normal
He's a
human
realist
being with a heart. You know what I mean?
No, but he might not be woke for you or whatever that may be mean nowadays. But
no, but that's what I mean. For those that are going to claim that he's woke.
Oh,
look at this! Hello,
Dave. I
Welcome,
mean, hello,
Hi,
Raven.
Hi, Raven.
How you doing?
Hi, Raven.
you doing?
I invited Raven.
how you doing? All right,
Wonderful.
Nobody can be as woke as Rick B. That's right.
But I mean, personally, I hope he is, but I hope he still offers what he's offered before in his other shows. But regardless, the right wing are going to call him woke, whether we think he's woke or not.
Yeah, good. Let him piss them off.
Yeah.
I don't care.
But
I despise Trevor Noah with a passion. I can't fucking stand the guy. I tell you why. He is okay. First of all, his whole shtick is the same fucking shtick that he's been doing for the last fucking 15, 16 years that I've known him as a stand-up comedian. It's the same fucking jokes. Same thing. It's always about race, nothing else. Nothing, no culture, no nothing, just race. When he took over the one show, that show went from, questioning power and authority to just being fucking sound bites on issues of race. That was it. Not fighting against the establishment, not questioning about the bourgeoisie's bollocks, none of that. And that's why he's just a fucking boring ass liberal who he doesn't really offer anything. And that's why I can't stand the fucking guy. Like, he's a sellout. Yeah, Christine.
And that's why I love Stewart. In contrast to that, Stewart will lay out an argument that is quite literally bulletproof. Like, he's like, you gonna call me woke? Well, what about boom, 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 boom? Drop mic.
Yeah, that's it. That's Jon Stewart is a mensch. He's a fucking awesome.
But
awesome,
I disagree with Gigi about flaming Trevor Noah, because again, he came from apartheid in South Africa. So if anybody knows about race, it's going to be him.
Yeah, but that's his whole.
Yeah, but
shtick.
that's all he does.
Hey, Gary, you missed the point again.
No, I get the
That's
point.
all
I
we
get
talked about,
the
but
point.
no.
I get the bloody point.
Okay,
Raven,
so
by the way, I've asked Raven to join us
Anyway.
if she wants to join us. It'd be nice to bring her in. I haven't spoken to her in ages.
Okay.
I got her here.
Yeah, bring her in.
Nice.
Bring her in.
But yeah, I do agree that Jon Stewart was a cut above, because he would try to put word to power. And
he's the one that actually challenged power. Trevor Noah just did the
He
fucking.
challenged Israel. Like, I never thought. Like, when you watch American media, American news and stuff like that, even American comedy shows, they would always like defend Israel, everything. And then when I saw Jon Stewart and the Daily Show talk about Israel, I couldn't believe he was challenging them. Him being Jewish as well. I was gobsmacked at the time. I really was. He was the first American media outlet to challenge Israel, and he led the way.
Yeah, they couldn't fucking do anything because he's Jewish. They're like, what are you gonna do? Call me an anti-Semite? Nice fucking try. And it's really funny because I was having an argument with somebody on Facebook who kept trying to say that people don't think that anti-Zionism is anti-Semitism, but it is. I'm like, oh, okay. So I posted articles of the IHRC, which was basically, the whole fucking argument with Labour to say that, no, you cannot conflate Judaism with Zionism. You know, you can't punish every Jew for the problems that Israel is causing. So I'm like, okay, so you know better than Jewish people. Good job. So that's why, yeah, they couldn't make it stick on Jon Stewart, and he's got them by the balls. And I hope when he comes back, that's what he goes after, because, you know, we've just had the court ruling today, the Human Rights Court, that have said that, yes, Israel is committing genocide, and it needs to take measures to kind of stop what it's fucking doing. This is a huge blow for Israel. This is great. It means that no matter how much money, power, and influence their lobbies have, people are still telling you, yeah, go fuck yourselves. You're all maniacs. So, you know, that should be everyone now. Anyone who has balls, that's what they should be doing. Just until it becomes such a toxic subject, such a toxic country, that something happens. And so, yeah, I'm hoping Jon Stewart goes down that road.
Yeah. The only politician
just
prior to him was
quickly-
with Bernie Sanders. Jewish as
Yeah.
well.
Just-
Very.
16, yeah, exactly.
Sorry, just really quickly, along the lines of what you were saying, Ginger, is that I just put up one thing on Facebook supporting Palestinians, not Hamas, and the feed is still going, boom, 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 boom. And you had shown me the clip of the Prime Minister, I think a week or 2 weeks ago,
Yeah.
saying how he wants to wipe out Palestine, Palestinians, and some guy's argument to that was, oh, he said that 8 years ago. And I'm like, I don't care if he said it 20 years ago. He's fucking doing it now, today.
Yeah.
He's doing it now. I mean, I could send you more video clips of a whole load of Zionists in the middle of Jerusalem Square chanting death to all Arabs if you want, waving their big Israeli flags. I could send you clips of dead, decapitated babies that have had their limbs blown up. I could send you clips of a little fucking child. This made me cry so much when I first saw it a couple of years ago, of a little child that wanders off into a Jewish-only playground, and the soldiers turn him away. And the poor kid's crying, doesn't know what's going on. Hey, Raven.
Hello.
Hey, Raven. Good to
Yeah,
see
yeah.
you.
How you doing? Long time.
Okay. I haven't really used my rig in a long time, so I don't know if it's all good.
Yeah.
Well, you come
sound
to
okay?
the place to break
Sounds
it
fine.
in. Yeah,
Yeah.
this is the best place. How's Peach doing?
She's good. She's upstairs. She might be watching at some point, I think, maybe. We'll see.
Cool. The boys all right?
Yes. Yes, everybody's good.
I was so
Fantastic.
happy to hear that through music and Santa Claus, the advancements that your son made. That was awesome.
Oh, yeah, well, I mean, here's the bike that
That's
he
not your
asked
son, that's a bike.
for. There it is. Bike.
Awesome.
Can't wait until the weather is warm so he could use it.
Right.
That's fantastic.
This isn't because you're here. I am coming right back.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, carrying on with the news, then Zan, Charlie Kirk. Have you
Yeah,
got
let
the
me
clip
let me bring this up. I'm glad you mentioned good old fucking big face with small bits here. I'm going to show you this terrible clip of him and his mates, basically just giving the
Charlie
game
Kirk
away.
looks like a bad Photoshop job.
Just giving the
That's
game
what he
away.
looks like.
I mean, I just want to say before I show this clip, and please don't take me out of context, but I almost have more respect for actual racists, because at least they're fucking racist and they admit they're racist and they're not hiding behind the fact that they are racist. These motherfuckers, they want to blame liberals, they want to blame the left for why they're fucking racist, and it's fucking terrible. All right, let's listen to these fucking cunts.
This United story and the DEI story
Yes.
hits so hard because we've all been in the back of a plane when the turbulence hits, or when you're flying through a storm and you're like, I'm so glad I saw the guy with the right stuff and the square jaw get into the cockpit before we took off, and I feel better now. Thinking
No, I mean,
about
like,
that.
you want to go thought crime? Like, I'm sorry. If I see a black pilot, I'm going to be like, boy, I hope he's qualified.
Well, that you
Game
wouldn't have
theory
done
I
that.
talked
You
about
wouldn't
it.
have. You
No,
wouldn't
and
have done
that's
that
not,
before.
That's not an immediate.
No, you wouldn't
That's
have done
not
that
who I
before.
am. That's
No.
not what I believe.
It is the reality the left has
but
created.
I'm
And that's why
Is
I
it a reality?
All right.
Yeah, blame us.
DEI story.
All right, enough of that. There we go. That's basically the clip.
It's not what I believe, but you just said it was. Like, but that's not what I believe. You just said it was.
They think that a black pilot, the way they're thinking of it is that they're just a quota, like a Disney thing. Like this is a quota for them to meet that they have to put in a black pilot, forgetting the fact that you have to have a degree, you have to have 20/20 vision, not be colorblind, you have to fucking do so many countless studies,
Hours behind.
you've got to learn how to fucking fly a plane. You can't just walk in there as a quota. This isn't like some fucking porno or an actor's job. Jesus Christ.
You have to pass the test. You have to have so many hours behind different planes before you can even fly passengers.
Exactly. We're good.
I'm fine.
Raven, your fault.
I actually wanted to change the subject only because I just found this out and I don't want to dwell on it but apparently the verdict on the fines for Donald Trump just came in.
Oh, what's happened?
$83 million. If I am understanding this correctly.
Is that for his profiting over while he was president? Is it that?
No, this is just for defaming E. Jean Carroll.
Oh, good.
Oh, fantastic.
Okay.
His second fine for that. Yeah.
Nice.
Nice.
He won't pay it, but
but I mean,
$$1 million.
Yeah.
That was the what was that? The stenographer or the other lawyer that he was mouthing off about, or the judge?
I can't remember. I can't keep up with this stuff. Raven?
I didn't hear what you said. I got a little guy crying.
Oh, bless.
I said, was that the stenographer, lawyer, or judge he was mouthing off about?
No, this is for the woman he raped.
Oh.
Yeah.
Jean Carroll, the author that he raped in the dressing room in the store.
Yeah.
Fuck, you know. All right.
So he was already found guilty of that. And then he was found guilty of defaming her, and he was fined. I forgot what he was fined. But then at that less than 24 hours later, he was on TV and defamed her again. So now
that's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is the result of that. Right.
Not surprised.
They're turning courts into circuses now. These bastards.
No, the crying, my little guy.
That's funny. Okay. Yeah, that's all right. He's channeling Trump. He's channeling Trump right now after that verdict.
This is what happens. Hopefully for him, because he won't pay. He should get a nice new pair of bracelets.
Yeah, Alex Jones had to pay $1 billion in damages, and the guy is still spouting his shit.
Sorry, I'll be right back
on the internet. I'm just concerned that.
This is an appropriate. Yeah. This is an appropriate place to bring it up. But Gary Graham, do you guys talk about Gary Graham? From Star Trek.
Yeah. Well, funnily enough, some of us from this channel, they're going to be doing a eulogy for Gary Graham on somebody else's channel later on tonight, about midnight. I can give you the link when that happens. I was going to join them and talk about some other Star Trek stuff, but once this happened, and I know very little about Gary Graham, so I'm not going to be joining them for their eulogy. But they were going to be talking about him.
He's a racist.
Is he?
Or was a racist? He actually shared a tweet that basically said that black people are lazy parasites.
Really? This is so much of a revelation.
Which character did this person play? I don't know them.
Saval, Ambassador Saval on Enterprise.
Oh, yeah.
Which I love the character. I thought he's very well acted. So as far as I'm concerned, Gary Graham leaves behind a respectable body of work. But as a person, he was shit.
Oh, yeah. Now I know who Gary Graham is. Now I'm watching his face. Yeah, he was an Alien Nation.
Spock's dad and what's her name?
No, that's Sarek. That's Sarek.
Oh, sorry.
That's about. I made that mistake as well. I never knew. Okay. That is a real shame. That's a real shame that he's a bit of an asshole. If only enough, some people are going to be talking about him who actually know him. And this guy here, one of my mates here, cousin Cheeto, he doesn't know him personally, but he'll be talking to somebody who does later on today. And fortunately, I'm not going to be involved in that conversation, but I don't know who the fuck he is. But that is fascinating that he was a racist. You can bring that up, Cheeto, when you talk to Alec Peters later tonight, mates. That'll be fun. That'll be fascinating. I mean, maybe I will join you for that conversation and bring that up just to fucking spice up the lingo a little bit, mentioning that this guy was a racist. But yeah, that's pretty cool. I mean, not pretty cool, but pretty fascinating.
Wait, the actor that played he was a racist?
Yeah.
Really? I missed the conversation. I was having a wee.
Bring it up, Cheeto. Bring it up, Cheeto. When Cheeto does this shit tonight, bring it up, man. Don't bring it up. That'll be so good.
Where did you hear was a racist? Raven.
Raven mentioned it. You're on mute, Raven.
I'm reading a story now that's pretty bad.
Raven, you're on mute.
Raven, you're muted. We can't hear
Raven,
you.
you're muted. You're muted. You're muted.
There we go.
He shared a post by Candace Owens that said, I've only come across lazy people who believe that those of us who work ought to support them. Human parasites. They come in every race. But it was referring to black people. Maybe I live in a box, but I've never met a single black American who was a slave. So,
Jesus Christ. Fuck's sake. Hey, Mr. Alex, we'll talk about wrestling later on.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
He was also apparently he was a Trumper. He was a Tulsi Gabbard fan. And yeah, he's just
no surprise.
He was a
if I could just backpedal back to Charlie Kirk. I mean, when it comes to like diversity hires, because he automatically assumes that somebody who's hired for a job might not be as good as the white person who might be also eligible for the job. But the whole point of diversity hires is that there'll be two people who might be eligible for a job. One might be white and one might not be. And they're more likely to give to the person who isn't white that job because they're giving people who are not white an opportunity. And that person is equally as qualified as the white person. If somebody is not qualified as much as the white person and they're of a different race, they're not going to get the fucking job because the white person who may be more qualified is more likely to get it because he's more better for it. But Charlie Kirk doesn't think of it like that. You know,
this isn't always going to be the case. It's to make amends and bring up, the equality for past, hardship for 400 years. There's this, inequality of wealth accumulation. It's to get everyone back onto equal footing, right? So it's not going to go on forever. It's just right now, this is what has to happen to get people to catch up.
No, but they also think as well, like, things like pilots. Well, you know what? That's only for people like me. You can't be a fucking pilot. That's not for people like you. So if
even for women, they're just like, even for women, they think the same thing.
Exactly. So
the problem, they're thinking, their problem is they're thinking, black pilot's going to do a drive-by shooting on the fucking Freedom Tower or something stupid like that. You know what I mean?
Or I'm going to get a period and just go, I'm so mad, I'm going to just crash this plane.
I mean, because the whole thing.
You motherfuckers! Quick, getting some chocolate.
I said pick up some milk after work.
But yeah, I mean, all it's trying to do is to get more people of color into pilot school, into the actual training programs and stuff like that, just to make it more fair, because it seems to be predominantly white. So he's making it more encouraging for people in predominantly black neighborhoods to make it more feasible for them to receive the training and become pilots. That's all DEI is for. This whole bullshit of some tokenism is bullshit. It's just about trying to
everything's tokenism for them. You know what I mean? Everything fucking tokenism for them. Any person,
the white male centric patriarchy, then it's all tokenism. Raven.
Yeah.
I just feel really bad.
I go Christine. Raven.
I just feel really bad because I just keep thinking about that stupid fucking joke. What do you call a black guy in the cockpit? Pilot, you racist.
Oh my God.
His name
That
is.
makes me a bigot because I didn't know the answer. That just reminds me that we still continue to this day to have bigoted thoughts.
Well, there's a
and
lot
we
of
need
people
to
in this.
work.
There's a lot of
Oh,
people
I
in this
always have
country.
bigoted thoughts. I mean, look, Zam here. I mean, how could you not be?
There's a lot of
bigot
people in this
towards
country
him?
who don't like, say, Lewis Hamilton because he's a black Formula One driver and he's fucking phenomenal. One of the great. He will go
He's the
down when
greatest
he
of- one of
retires.
the greatest of all time. Yeah.
He will go down, but he's already fantastic now. He won loads of championships. He will go down as one of the greatest of all time. But there's a lot of people in this country who don't like him because he's flash and he goes out with a fucking what was the name of it?
Nicole
Like, yeah, that girl, and all of that shit, and yeah, they don't like him because of that. It's amazing how many people I hear in this country who actually has a hatred for Lewis Hamilton, and it's because he's fucking black.
And also the hypocrisy as well is that it's the only celebrity they ever bring up who's a tax dodger. It's the only one. They never talk about all the white ones. They talk about. So for me, fuck Lewis Hamilton because he's a tax dodger, but thumbs up to Lewis Hamilton because he is the best driver of all time. I can never credit Michael. Yeah, I can never credit Michael Schumacher as the greatest of all time because he cheated like fuck.
Yeah,
in a lot of races to win.
And while
I have no
Rick B will go on about him being a wanker, Lewis Hamilton, but nobody will go on about fucking Michael Schumacher being a wanker for what he does in races. They love him. There's a lot of people who love him, So
yeah, exactly.
So it has got. So in my opinion, Rick B, that has got a lot to do with skin color.
It's their biases that they have. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I could like Lewis Hamilton, But again, also let's be perfectly honest. The one thing you need to understand about British culture is if you're really good at something, the English don't like it. Like, because they're some of the most insecure fucking people on the planet. That they get scared of arrogance. They get scared of someone who's very confident in themselves and somebody who's doing well. It's the British ethos is I must bring you down now because you're doing really, really well. They've done it to everyone. They even did it to their favorite flavor of the month. They tried to do it to Ricky Gervais years ago because he was being so cocky and arrogant, or just being Ricky Gervais. And they all tried to bring him down. Now they love him.
They love him. They love him now. Yeah, but he's a fascist piece of shit now. Transphobic wanker.
But Lewis Hamilton, mate, as soon as he fucking became a Formula One driver, he'll tell you the shit that he suffered, the amount of abuse that he's gotten. And this is before he was even a world champion.
Yeah, exactly. Because like in some sports, they think to themselves, okay, yeah, you can't be in this sport. You're black. This is not a sport for black people. Maybe we can accept you're a Japanese person, but definitely not a fucking black guy. And so, they get ousted because of their race. But he will be. I think when he does retire, he will be the greatest of all time as a Formula One racing driver. The same way Tiger Woods will be the greatest of all time as a golfer, in my opinion.
Yeah, and the greatest shagger on the planet.
Oh, he is. Oh, look at him. Here we go. Rick B. This is why.
I didn't say he's a fascist.
I said he's a fascist.
Oh, you said he's a fascist.
He's a fascist, dude.
He's not a fascist.
Mate,
he's just a twat.
But the way he talks about
a baby.
He talks about trans people, man. He's a proper fascist, in my opinion.
No, he's a bigot. That's not fascism. That's
all right,
bigotry.
however you want to look at it, sticks and stones. You know what I mean? Fucking not sticks and stones. Semantics. Sorry. You know what I mean? He's still a fucking cunt. You know what I mean?
I'm such a board of uneducated people here. It's a burden I have to carry with me.
Yeah.
All right.
Next on the list.
So next on the list, this is a nice one. So the Tories are facing annihilation in the next election, and so of course we need to have a war because every kind of unpopular government needs to do what's the term for it? Foreign policy something. And so all of a sudden I'm sitting there reading the papers that we might go to war with Russia. We're going to need conscription in this country because our recruitment numbers are so low. Yeah, good luck with that, mate. Good luck with trying to
74,000 soldiers
military
in the
this
United
country.
in 74,000 soldiers in the United Kingdom. I'm not sure if that's the entire military or just the army, but 74,000 soldiers. Yeah, you can't even fill Wembley Stadium with that many people.
Yeah.
And that's how many soldiers we got, military soldiers or army soldiers we have in this country. And they want, we could go to war with Russia. And if that's the case, they want us to start recruiting and everybody, right and left. So there's loads of fucking right wingers who don't want to go to war.
You won't.
Yeah, they don't want to fucking enlist for the military because of what the fuck are we fighting for? Like all these stupid wars we've had, going back to the most recent one being the Gulf War. It's left people disillusioned. We're dying for nothing. And nobody wants to go to war with fucking Russia.
When they get out afterwards, and the pay they get is shit. No, but look, nobody wants to go to a war. Every war is a war for the fucking rich. That's it. It's some rich cunts that want to fucking become richer, and everyone in every country. It's not just here. Russia, everywhere. They're sick of it. They don't want to. They don't.
Yeah, Russia's already in the war.
Steve.
Last thing they want.
Yeah, but they had troubles with conscription. People were abandoning the country.
The only way you can prove to me that you as a politician think that war, whatever war it is necessary is that you and your entire family join the moment you say this war has to happen, that you join the army or the Navy or the Air Force and you get your sons and daughters to do the same thing that same day. Then I might believe you.
If I had to bring in conscription, I'd say the first load of people that need to join for families earning over 100,000 a year, because this is your war. After that, if it becomes a necessity, then we'll look into other people. But until then, every politician, every hedge fund manager, every banker's child, they'll be the first to go to fucking war, and the rest of us can sit back and watch them fight, because this is their war.
I'll work on the farm, whatever. I'll work on the farm while you're gone.
Yeah, exactly. Ricky Gervais is a person that does stuff. Oh my god, I'm shocked. I'm absolutely shocked. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't know. That's just, he's not great, but I mean, he does stuff, I guess.
Yeah, he breathes.
He's a transphobe.
Yeah,
he breathes. He's
an asshole.
Yeah,
And it's so sad. I used to love his stuff, and now I find out.
I say that about so many people, Christine, unfortunately.
Gervais, the thing with Gervais is he's always been an arsehole. He's not a nice person. Like, he's a bully. He's and what it is, it's all projecting. He's so massively insecure. So you guys know Richard Coughlan, right?
Yep.
Okay, so a friend of his, also a stand-up comedian, when he knows Gervais. I think when Gervais was kind of early starting stand-up comedy and things like that, they toured together and all this. So he knows Gervais. And he knows that Gervais is very, very insecure about his weight and that he's got tiny feet. He wears bigger shoes to hide it.
Tiny feet.
All right? Because Gervais was basically, he was saying, like, backstage, Gervais was getting a bit leery with some people, and then somebody made a comment about his feet, and Gervais had a complete fucking meltdown over it. When Gervais did an interview with Gary Shandling, and Gary Shandling was being Gary Shandling towards Ricky Gervais, Gervais had a complete meltdown. He's an insecure little man, and these are the type of people that should never have a platform as large as they do, because they end up doing dangerous shit like his anti-trans stuff. Or his stuff against people with disabilities, all this kind of shit. His whole career, all he's ever done is punch down. Carl Pilkington, everyone laughs about it, but I'm the one who's sitting there going, he's bullying the guy because Carl is stupid and it's entertaining for him, and other people found his stupidity entertaining, so they thrust the fucking
disturbing. I found that disturbing what he did to that guy. Yes.
It was disturbing. Like, if you watch the making of The Office, okay, Ricky Gervais is tackling Pilkington to the floor and sellotaping him. That's a fucking assault, and there he's laughing about it. He's a fucking piece of shit. All right, he's a piece of shit. I'm not going to say I didn't like his stuff, because The Office is still one of the best sitcoms out there. All right, and the extras was really good, but don't take away from the fact that the man is a giant turd of a human and a child. That's it. Oh,
Don't insult children.
yeah. Skydance officially makes October.
Can we just quickly go back?
Could change hands. Yes. Yes. Sorry, go on, Sam. Go on.
Going back to the draft. I mean, personally, I think people like Tommy Robinson should, sign up to fight against Russia because he's so fucking proud to be British. He's British through and through, yada yada, and all that bollocks. Sign up, mate. Join the fucking military and give your life for this country, you fucking racist wanker. And all the people who were defending the cenotaph during the time of the Palestinian protest.
Put them in as well.
Yeah, put them all in because nobody was attacking the cenotaph. All of you guys, all you fucking, like blighty motherfuckers, join the fucking military, give your life for this fucking country, and then obviously, hopefully, you will give your life for this country, so I'll never have to fucking see you again, and the world will be a fucking better place without you.
They talk the big talk, they never walk it.
That includes you, Rick B. Sign up for the military now. Go and join, Rick B.
The only time I'll join the British military is if we were looking to attack America. I'll be like, yeah, sure, fuck it, let's go. But other than that, no. I'll fly your drones, mate. Yeah, no problem. I'll fly your drones. Yeah. But I have a family.
Can I just say something? This is very diverse. Yeah, this is very diverse here. We've got a ginger.
I know. It's very rare that you get a ginger on this stream, but here you go. Here I am. Not very ginger for long, though. As you can see, the beard is fading away into grey, and the hair is gone. But it's nice. Thank you all for having me. I feel blessed.
Yeah, this is Rick B's worst nightmare because we've got a diverse group of people of various races, sexual orientations, genders, a lot.
Yeah,
but, I know.
Exactly. Speaking of, we're going to Rick B's favorite news channel now, and Rick, by the way, I love having you on here because you give us so much to play with. This is how absurd the writer. Sensitive GB News viewers are now calling the channel left wing. Here's why. So the so-called home of free speech prides itself on hearing all voices and allowing a wide range of opinions. But GB News are now copying flack for some of their own diehard viewers over claims that they have gone left wing. The far-right news organization has gone left wing. These people they don't know what they're talking about. So has GB News gone left wing? Viewers complain about alleged bias. The scarily believable claims were amplified recently. A few figures on the far right had previously lamented the broadcasters for not echoing their political beliefs, but it now seems a larger portion of its audience has become disillusioned. That should be far right leaning network, which allows a number of conservative MPs to host their own shows, has been rebuked by Ofcom on a number of occasions since its launch in 2021. It has built a loyal fan base, but there are now murmurs of discontent. But what has sparked this minor review? Well, would you believe it? Largely centers around Donald Trump's US political expert Eric Ham told the channel the former president's rhetoric echoes that of Hitler. So criticism of Donald Trump sparks backlash among free speech advocates. The president's candidate is vying to take the White House back in the upcoming US elections 4 years after his tumultuous term in office. He leads we don't need all those stupid details, blah, 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 blah. So basically, cut a long story short, when Trump gave that lovely speech where when he gets back into power, he's just going to take revenge on everyone and basically, kill democracy, the viewers got triggered when somebody called him out on that and saying, yeah, that's what a fascist fucking says. Christine.
They were mad because a news, and I use that term loosely, but what's supposed to be a news agency wasn't echoing their beliefs. That's not what news does or is supposed to do. First, I know it's at the beginning. Second, free speech advocates, I can't say the word, were angry because a news shared something that they can under free speech, which was an opinion of of Trump being a fascist. And but they're free speechers, like.
And by the way, these are the same people that are happy to say that yes, Netanyahu is like Hitler. They're the same fucking people. You know, they'll be like, yeah, of course he's like Hitler. Look at him. Look what he's doing to the Palestinians and all this kind of shit. But the minute you say that about their fucking poster orange, then they lose their fucking minds. It's hilarious. Like they don't know. The problem is we're dealing with idiots that don't know what politics are. They just need their little sound bites that they're being fed by people higher up than them in a society where they will never reach themselves, just so that they can be like, I've owned the libs. And I'm like, well, first of all, liberals are centrists. So that's not owning the left. You're just owning like-minded people on economic issues that are just not racist. That's the only difference with libs. Okay, but you don't know, like they'll say woke, they won't know what the fuck woke is. They don't know shit about shit. And so they get triggered when you're just not affirming their political views, because that's what they're the ones, they want their fucking echo chambers. You know what I mean? And not just that, they want to they want to go into other people's spaces and just cause fucking havoc and talk a load of dumb shit. Like people we know in the comment section, and not really bring anything new. They're just parroting stuff that we've already heard a million times, but they don't understand that we've heard it a million times. It doesn't register to them that we've heard it a million times. They just fucking think, I'm going to come in and I got the libs. I'm like, motherfucker, I heard this shit 30 years ago. Calm down. Anyway, Christine, sorry.
Yeah, it's like when you're talking to a bunch of teenagers nowadays and they ask you something and the true answer is no, that's not possible. And they're like, yo, you're disrespecting me?
Yeah.
No, I'm telling you the answer to the question you asked. You just don't like the answer. It's nothing to do with me respecting or disrespecting you. It has everything to do with the fact that you're a moron.
Yeah, Gaz.
Yeah, I mean, GB News should be on the air anyway, because for a start, the fact that it has active members of parliament. Now, Christine and Raven, maybe they could tell us, in your respective countries, is there any show whatsoever that would have a senator or a congressman or anything like that, an active one as a member doing the hosting? Because that's what happens on GB News. Basically.
Hosting, not as a panelist, as the
not on
host.
panelist, actually physically hosted it.
Yeah.
You can't be calling yourself a news organization in Canada if you did something like that. So you could be a past member as a host. You could be a panelist during your reign while you're serving. Like Fox couldn't advertise here as Fox News. It would be Fox television show maybe, but they're not considered a news station. We're pretty strict. That's my point.
Yeah. Raven?
Yeah, no, if you're serving, if you're sitting in office, you can't have a TV show here. No.
Yeah. Well, in the UK, you can host. No problem, you know.
So I just want, because I got a feeling that you guys know Rick B and that this is a normal.
Oh yeah, we love our little tete-a-tetes with Rick. We love having him on with us.
Okay, like this is a normal thing. Like I'm just confused by by his last comment there about, racism and being a perpetual victim. So if somebody says something that's racist and you point it out, does that make you a victim then? Because you stated a fact? I don't understand the victim part of that. Like, somebody being a racist doesn't make other people a victim, though.
So his side of the political spectrum,
he doesn't understand either.
Hang on, guys. His side of the political spectrum always think that when somebody speaks out against the oppression that is being handed to minority groups, they think that because they keep talking about it, they're just playing perpetual victim. No. The people that are playing perpetual victim are the right-wingers that are fucking crying over and over and over again because they're getting pushback. All right, these are the same people that fucking melt down every bloody time somebody pushes up against them. They're the ones that are constantly complaining that they're being replaced. They're the ones that are constantly complaining that equality is an attack on whiteness. They're the ones that are complaining that critical race theory is an attack against them. They're the victims of critical race theory because this, that, and the other. When it's like, well, no, critical race theory is just fucking highlighting what a shitty past your country had. It's as simple as that. But it's always the perpetual victim. And the only difference is when they feel like they're the victim, or when they can play the victim, is they are in power and they can make laws such as all the fucking disgusting anti-trans laws that have been passing around the country. And that's the fundamental difference. On our side, we're saying, hey, even if we're in power, we're not going to come after you and fucking kill you and erase you from history. We're just going to say that now that we're in power, we're going to make sure everyone has a level playing field. That's the difference.
That is the difference.
Just for Raven's sake, Rick B is actually black.
No, he's Asian,
He's Asian.
like me.
Oh,
He's Asian like me. He's Asian like me.
Fucking racist guys. You don't know the difference between an Asian and a black man.
No, but he has said he's black in the past.
No, he's
You-
basically.
He's a person
are
of color.
cancelled. I have cancelled Gary. He's gone.
He's basically like the British version of Dinesh D'Souza mixed in with Vivek Ramaswamy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And maybe a bit of Rishi Sunak with Priti Patel and Nikki Haley. You know, like he's one of those.
Oh
He's one
God,
of those.
Nikki Haley.
He
Nikki
wants
Haley.
to be. He admires the oppressors and he wishes he could be one of them. And he's, you know, like he's the sort of person who goes, "Oh, I had a tan in the morning," when really he's actually tan naturally.
Nikki Haley on TV one day saying how she's the daughter of immigrants and how it was hard growing up in the U.S. as a little brown child, and then the next day says,
Yeah,
the U.S. was never a racist country.
Yeah. We saw that clip
You
last
can't
week.
have
It was
both
so
ways.
funny.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
played that last week. That
Yeah.
was hilarious.
I want to quickly show you guys something, by the way. This was a beauty making the rounds on TikTok of all places, and I love my tickety talk. So
While
let me
you're
quickly show
looking
you
for it,
I got it already. I
Raven-
got it.
Oh, sorry.
Here we go. Here we go. This is on Twitter as well, by the way. Let's play it.
Do not use other genocides to describe this one. I have been.
She realized.
Use the rest.
Yeah, she realized she fucked up. She said, don't use
Don't
other
use the
genocides
genocide.
to describe this one. Yeah, don't use these. Don't use the Holocaust. She was basically talking about the Holocaust. Don't use the Holocaust genocide to describe this genocide. And she realized,
Yeah.
oh shit, I fucked up. You know what I mean?
These
So
people, man,
yeah.
more than any other fucking group of people, these fucking Zionists, and I make the distinction between Zionism and Judaism, because if you're a Zionist, in my eyes, you're just a fucking colonial Nazi. That's all you are. Okay, I don't give a shit if you're Jewish and you're a Zionist. You're a fucking Zionist. There's a distinction. It's not like you can't label all Germans as Nazis. All right, this is the same fucking thing. So Zionists are just inhumane pieces of shit that genuinely need fucking wiping out, because their attitude is, and it won't just stop with the Palestinians. It will keep spreading. All right, it will keep fucking spreading this kind of disgusting ideology. And it just, I don't understand. You know what your own people went through. How does your mind become so warped to think that what I'm doing to Arabs is completely justified because Hamas, or because we have a right to this land that we haven't held for thousands
Prime
of years?
example right there.
Yeah, I mean this needs updating now. 2024 needs
I
to
know.
be Gaza in
I-
half, and the West
that's all
Bank
I
is just
had.
pockets left.
That's all
You know.
I had to send. Sorry, that's the best I had. So that's
Yeah,
what I sent
Okay.
Sam.
yeah,
But-
yeah. I'm just saying for the viewers, not for you, just for the viewers,
Oh.
that needs updating, because now it's even less. Like,
Yep.
yeah, it's disgusting, and the fact that everyone. I always
don't
say
know.
we're on the right side of history, but just saying that you're on the right side of history is not good enough, because you're
That's
sitting
not
there and you're actively seeing more people getting wiped off the face of the planet, and every fucking leader on this planet of the West is rah-rahing it. I think it's only like Spain and Greece.
And
Greece
South
has a
Africa.
history of, Greece has a history of always siding with Palestine. Always. They understood the struggle of colonialism under the Ottomans and the British and the Americans. So they always sided. That's why the connection that Greece has with the Muslim world, the Middle East, is stronger than any other country in Europe. And now seeing this piece of shit Mitsotakis side with the fucking establishment shows you how far the country has just fallen in line now with whatever they want and whatever the fuck, because the banks have them by the balls. So if Greece doesn't play ball, the Deutsche banks are just going to be like, well, you know what? Your interest rates are going to go up. Oh, you know what? We're going to move the goalpost further for you paying off the fucking debt that we never seem to be.
I don't know about other places, but I am a teacher's assistant at a Montessori school, and we've had a number of Jewish students. And I know their parents from having to deal with them with the school and everything. And we've discussed the situation in Israel. And what I've noticed is a lot of American Jews have really mixed feelings, and they don't know how to talk about it, and they don't know how to react, because it's like they will say and they recognize what's happening is wrong, but yet they have very close ties to Israel. And if they say that it's wrong and you agree with them, then they're like, well, what do you mean? Like, what are you saying against my country? So it's almost like they've got two sides of their brain at the same time. And reality is reality, really, man. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Well, if they're Americans, this is their country, by the way, just so you know.
But you know, what's baffling about it's that if this was America doing this, they'd probably have strong words against it. But because of how, like, the propaganda and the kind of the way the system has put Israel on this kind of weird fucking pedestal, it means that even people within these communities don't know how to react, even though they're witnessing exactly what happened to their own fucking people in every sense of the word. They still don't know how to react because in their brain it's loyalty to Israel at all costs. And if you're not loyal to Israel, then you're an anti-Semite, you're this and that and the other. You know, I have family in Israel. I have a large family in Israel, okay? And they are so brainwashed by everything that's going on. I had two friends that have unfriended me on Facebook simply because I just showed them the fucking truth of what was going on. They didn't like it. And I turned around and said, I argued with them. I said, hang on a second. I shit on my own country all the time, okay? I shit on both Greece and the UK all the time for the shit that they do. Why is Israel exempt from the same kind of criticism by anyone? It doesn't make any sense. I said, you don't even know your own country's fucking history. You don't even know how you came to be. And you're sitting there trying to defend a bunch of fascists, basically. Christine.
I think that if someone said to me, as this parent said to you, Raven, I would akin it to, I live in Ontario, a province. Say Ontario invades Newfoundland, another province, for whatever reason, and is committing genocide. I don't give a fuck that I live in Ontario. It's wrong. I'm going to stand against it. And the second thing I want to bring up is that I really, as a unit of fighters, respect Mossad for what they can do. There is no reason all-out war had to happen. Mossad could have gone in there and taken every Hamas fighter out. Like, it might have taken a year or two, but they were capable of it. They traced Nazis into Argentina for years, kidnapped them, brought them to other countries over borders so they wouldn't get thrown in jail if they were caught, then exported them back to Israel for trial. They're fucking good at the job. So, no need.
I want to add as well that there's loads of Jewish people protesting against Israel, loads in this country, in America, all over the world. We got Orthodox Jews as well, not just casual Jewish people when it comes to their religion. Orthodox were the hardcore ones, all protesting against the genocide.
Well, they're the ones that never believed in Israel because
it's against their religious beliefs.
That God will give us the land we will not take the land. And so
Yep.
they don't agree with the creation of Israel at all.
Nice.
And they're a powerful tool to have, because you can't. What do you say against them when you're a Zionist? You can't say shit against them. What do you say? Oh, you're not a real Jew and all this.
Oh,
kind
they
of
sell out.
I am the heart of Judaism.
There's Orthodox Jews and Jews within Israel who are putting up Palestinian flags and protesting against the genocide and all of that, and they're getting shut down by the so-called only democracy in the fucking Middle East. That is such a line that pisses me off, because they're not. I mean, this is a country right now where people like Netanyahu wants to ban interfaith marriage, wants to ban. I mean, they've already banned same-sex marriage. That's not legal in Israel, and they also want to ban interracial marriage as well.
They just never legalized it.
Yeah. Sorry, that's what I meant to say. That's what I
yeah.
meant to say. But the point is that the so-called only democracy in the Middle East are just as backwards as their fucking neighbors. So they need to stop saying that. But that's a load of bullshit.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so I
want to go into the pastor.
Oh, I was just about to say, Zam, if you want to take this one.
Yeah. All right, fine. I'm just going to quickly show you this clip on TikTok. I can't find anything on Twitter, so it's got to be TikTok, I'm afraid.
And Ginger, can you send me those clips? Not the extremely violent death scenes, but any speeches, so I can share them.
Yeah, sure.
Thanks.
Find it now. One Zam does.
I'm gonna bounce.
Whatever.
I have to feed my family, so.
Oh, Raven, lovely having you.
It was fun.
Join us every Friday when we're on, and lots of love to the family.
Take care, Raven.
Bye, everyone.
Take care.
Bye.
All right,
it's like getting the old fucking YouTube community club back together, but the good ones. It's awesome.
I'm glad I went through my feed today on Messenger, and I was like, who do I want to show up? And I was like, send her, send him, send that, send, do. I want to send it to about 10
I'd love to have
people.
Peach join us one day, because she was always awesome with this kind of
Well,
stuff.
I sent it to Raven because I figured, well, they live in the same house. So
Yeah.
next time.
Yeah.
Well, Raven, when Raven was Dev Show, when Raven was Rob, back then she encouraged me to make my first YouTube video, and I did. When I used to watch Raven as Rob on Blog TV and shit like that.
I didn't know that. That's awesome.
It was Raven and a guy called Zornstar, Eric. They kind of both encouraged me to do it. Anyway, let's just check out this clip. This is pissing me off. All right, here we go.
Dad's place in Bryan, Ohio, facing charges tonight after opening his church to the homeless. The local zoning commission told the church they could no longer house the homeless because there's no bedrooms and people are not allowed to eat or sleep on the property. Apparently, it's better to do so outside in the cold. The pastor has racked up 18 charges of zoning violations. He says he gets a new charge every day that he remains open. And that pastor, Chris Savell, joins us now, along with his attorney at First Liberty Institute, Jeremy Diss. Dice, Jeremy, or Diss?
Dice.
Dice, got it. So sorry, Pastor, to you, your church is not allowed to take in the homeless. Kind of conundrum here, because they're saying you don't have beds, but you're not allowed to have beds. So because you don't have beds, you can't have homeless staying in there overnight. It seems unbelievable that they want the people outside in the cold versus inside the church.
Yeah, well, last year we made the decision to keep our church doors open 24/7. We had opened during extreme heat and extreme cold before to allow people in. And it's kind of this idea, we believe that anyone who's weary and burdened, they can come and find rest. And we believe it's true rest, like rest for their souls. And as a church, we believe we're commanded to take care of those in need. It's not optional. And it's our mission to show Christ's love to even those the world rejects, like people who God loves them, but that's our belief, right? He loves them so much, he sent his son Jesus to rescue anyone who turns to him in faith. We believe that. And in November, the city delivered a letter. They actually posted a sign outside the church kind of saying you have 10 days to get the people out and stop this ministry. And I just can't do that. I have to follow Christ. And the people who stay, they stay because they have nowhere else to go. I mean, that's, no one wants to stay in a church, but they have nowhere else to go. We're the church. We won't send them away. And so, unfortunately, the city doesn't agree, and they filed 18 criminal charges against me. And but I'm convinced, Trace, that the church is not just called to teach and preach, but to feed the hungry, welcome the stranger, visit the prisoner, clothe the naked, care for the widow and the orphan. That's what the Bible says, and it matters to me because I believe that everything we do for Jesus. That's what I believe.
Chris, you're a good man. Now to you, Jeremy, because the chief of Bryan Police told Action News, quoting here, a reasonable amount of time was given for both the tenant and property owner to fix the issues. Due to the safety of all involved, the city moved forward with filing charges to fix the issues, to put beds in a place you can't. I don't get, there's no remedy. There's no fix.
No, I want folks to think about this for a second. If you're a pastor, think about driving up to your church on Sunday morning like Pastor Avell did this past Sunday morning, getting out of your car to find a squad car pulling up beside you, and out pops a police officer and hands you 18 different criminal charges for the offense of caring for the homeless in the dead of winter. That's what it's come to. It's not enough for the city of Bryan, Ohio to castigate them on a civil basis for failing to abide by this, that, or the other thing. They've already violated the law in that regard. We're going to hold them accountable for that. But to then tell the pastor and to hold him criminally responsible for daring to take care of the homeless in the frigid winter, they would rather kick these folks to the curb in the cold outdoors of December and early January than allow the church to remain a church open 24/7 to those who need it the most. It's unconscionable. I've seen a lot of things at firstliberty.org, but this takes the cake.
This is taking the cake. Pastor, you get a new charge every day that you allow the homeless. Is it worth it? Will you keep going?
Absolutely. I have no choice. I mean, honestly, I can't say this is about God. It's about his love for the poor, for the marginalized, for people like me who have fallen short or are in desperate need of help. God gave me a love for them, Trace, because he first loved me. You know, I wasn't always a believer. I used to be an atheist. And and this is what God did for me. I was spiritually homeless, and he provided a home for me in heaven. I believe that. And Trace, he's put a burden on my heart for them. Many of these people, they've been rejected by their families. They've been cast aside by their communities. So if the church isn't willing to lay down her life for them, who will? Like, this is what we're called to do. And I can't help it because I believe this is the mission of the church, to make disciples. And this is how we do it, by showing the love of Christ, preaching the truth, and laying down our lives in service and in humility as Christ laid down his life for us. That's what I believe.
Yeah. Again, I reiterate, you're a good man, Pastor Chris Avell. Jeremy Dys, best of luck on your fight. We will keep checking in with you.
Oh, how ironic.
This is going, and we wish you all the best of luck.
Thank you. They're the same people that would love to see death to the homeless.
Yeah, I was thinking that as well, because, like, let's be honest, the right wing don't give a fuck about the homeless. They're the ones who will bring out these draconian laws regarding them. And even that news article we saw was the last clip of the news program, not the first. Personally, this should be international news, not just national news. The fact that somebody is getting arrested for feeding the homeless, homing the homeless, giving them a place to sleep and
doing
stay.
A Christian duty.
Yeah, this is the most Christian thing I've ever seen from a fucking religious person in America. You know what I mean? And the fact that he used to be an atheist kind of makes sense now, because he's, you know, I consider atheist people to be more humanitarian regardless. And obviously he's found religion again, and he's using it in the right fucking way. Because let's be honest, people like Joel Osteen, they're probably loving all these draconian laws, because it means that they have to fucking do the very thing that people complain that they should be doing. So anyway, Christine, what you got to say?
No, I just want to reiterate and maybe put it a little clearer. This is one of the few and far between Christians that I've actually heard say we're supposed to live our lives like Christ told us, to feed and house and help the poor. So many Christians don't follow that commandment. So good on him for doing that and not giving up. But as a sidebar, he said he used to be an atheist. That always gets me, and I don't know if that's always true when people say that. I think maybe some people haven't yet put thought into what their beliefs are yet, so they just do the fallback. I was an atheist. That's all.
I don't. As long as
I was a rebel, man. I was a rebel. That's what he's trying to say it as. But boss man, you being our token religious person, what have you got to say?
I think it's ridiculous that he's been legally censured for basically doing the right thing. I mean, how ridiculous is that? It's not like he's, doing things to piss people off. It's like he's doing something illegal, like, I don't know,
touching kids.
Touching kids or flaming, pressing Congress to have anti-LGBT laws in it. No, he's literally trying to help a community that needs to be helped, the homeless community. And even himself has said that these are people who've been thrown out by their families. A lot of them probably for mental health issues, maybe even for LGBT issues. It's like, no, what I'm supposed to be doing, which is what I believe I'm supposed to do, is help those, even those who don't like me. I'm supposed to help. It's like, what the fuck is going on where somebody's getting flaming censured for doing the right thing? So, isn't there better laws that they could be doing? Like, I don't know, as you just said with touching kids, or like, people who actually do violence out there. It's like, goodness knows, do your bloody jobs. Sorry.
And this is a sad thing. This isn't the first time I've seen news about this in the States. In California, they were feeding homeless under an overpass. The cops came by, not only destroyed the food, but bleached it so that homeless couldn't go in the dumpsters after the cops left.
I mean,
fucking
hell. Is an insane level of sadism right there.
That guy was in his 80s, wasn't he? I think I saw it. The man was in his 80s, and every night he would feed the homeless people in that area, and it's ridiculous. Homelessness is becoming more and more of a common thing now because of our cost of living as well. I see it all the time now. If I have any food to give, I can give away. I do. More food than money, because even I find money too tight to mention at times. But I do what I can when I can, and honestly, it's not enough. But it really shouldn't be down to me. It should be down to the powers that be to resolve this issue.
Okay.
And the right side is all about, you better work and get back on your feet and get a job and start paying taxes. Well, wouldn't this be a great start so that they're healthy enough and have the energy to go and work?
Okay.
Well, go on.
What did you?
No, so again, we're talking about the cost of living crisis here.
Sorry.
No, that's fine. No. I'm just going back to what Zan was saying. Nothing on what you said. So obviously, I still live I live with my mom because everything that's happened to me and my health and all this kind of stuff, I never managed to move out, and so it's me and her. It's like her pension, my wages from work. This week, I have exactly 2p left in my bank account. Where does my money go? Bills. When car insurance last year, when car insurance went up, that wiped me out because it took away £250 out of my budget. My car cost a bit more to have for the service and MOT because mechanic has to up his prices because everything's fucking expensive. So my car basically wiped me out, and there was a few other external things that happened, such as the boiler going, where that was fucking close to £600 for that as well. So this shit wiped me out. So until I get paid on the 31st, I got 2p in my account. Now this is me living at home. All right, I don't have rent or mortgage to pay, but even I struggle, and I work, and I've been given extra days at work now, which helps a lot now once I get paid. All right, but that's me. What about those people that have the rent and the mortgages and all that? Well, the biggest issue, so again, this is the area I work in. This is my field, the whole cost of living things, okay? What you're seeing now is those families that struggle, they get what's called, so some people get a local housing allowance. So it's a percentage from the council that you get to help match your rent, because rent is just too expensive and people either aren't working or can't afford it because the jobs that they're given pay peanuts. So essentially what we're getting now, the majority of phone calls we get now are for the first time in their life, people that have worked their arse off, all right, are in debt now. They have arrears. They can't pay their gas and electric bills. They can't pay their water bill. They can't pay the fucking council tax, which keeps going up. Their rent is too bloody expensive, and local housing allowance can't match it because the fucking greedy landlords jacked up the prices. There's no more council housing anymore, which if we had that, this problem wouldn't bloody exist. And it's just fucking, it's just gone insane all over the fucking world. And then you have arseholes that are obviously telling you, no, you can't use the church, which is its original intent is to house people that are in need, and for people that are in need, you can't take them in, you can't feed them. It's just a never-ending cycle of cruelty by the bourgeoisie. They get off on it. They love seeing people struggle because they know they will never struggle. And I've ever said, if I was in power, they'd be the first motherfuckers on my target. I will take away every landlord's property, give it back to the fucking public. There'll be, sorry, Christine, but there will be no landlordism whatsoever. Again, you live in your house. There's a big difference. Okay. You want to let out a room within your own dwellings, that's absolutely fine. But in terms of people that own 4, 5, 6, 7 properties, all right, no fucking chance, because this is what's created the housing crisis. All right, selling council homes, telling that you can now own your council home was the biggest fucking disaster we ever did in this country because it's created this crisis.
I agree with a lot of what you said. Multiple homes. I mean, you don't need massive amounts of wealth. I only rent out rooms because I need it just to make my mortgage. I went
That's
to a
fine.
food
I wouldn't
shelter
object to people doing
yesterday.
that if they own their own home, renting out rooms, having lodgers. That's normal. Yeah.
And I don't charge the market price. Hundreds under the market price.
Yeah.
And I went to a food bank yesterday because I have more than 2p. I've actually $20 till the 1st, but that's emergency money.
You see what I mean? Yeah, Gaz.
But I think that any homeless is a failure of government, because the thing is that there should be a social state to help out people who fall through the gaps, because a lot of these people are mentally ill, who are on the homeless, or veterans, especially in the UK. I'm not sure.
Oh, they're just hard done by as well, Gary. Like life has thrown them
elderly.
We dealt them some bad cards, man. It shit happens.
And the thing is, look, the lower you are, the poorer you are, the harder it is to get out the situation. You know, we struggle here. That one little thing, one little fine, one little something, and you're absolutely fucked. And so I just want to go here to Rick. Yes, it should be banned, absolutely. But no, we don't need landlords. What does a landlord serve? A landlord is just a parasite. And I know you're a landlord, Rick, but the point is that you as a landlord, you're just taking away homes from other people. And the way that the mortgage systems are set up, like the situation is so bad that now our government is saying, you know what, fuck it. People can have 99% mortgages. We're getting to that stage now where you don't need to save a deposit to get a house. And that rule sickens me. That shouldn't be a rule. Because for the simple fact that you take out a mortgage on a fucking home, if you default on the mortgage, you've lost your fucking home. But if you like imagine, because the window for mortgages is only 25 years, which is absurd. It is absurd. The minute you enter the working force, you should be allowed to get a home. Okay. And you pay the mortgage for however long it takes you to pay the fucking mortgage. It's absurd. This is the rules. It's a deliberate fucking system. The banks will say, "Oh, it's to protect." No, it's to force people to never own their own home, to be renting, permanently renting.
I just want to quickly regarding this particular pastor again. He's obviously quite kind of unique compared to what we see in America when it comes to religious people, because this guy actually is doing shit that helps people. As I said before, he's more Christian than the actual fucking Christians are. And I think what it is as well is that they don't want this guy to set a precedent, but then other religious people might have to follow suit. But look at this guy, he's being a fucking proper Christian. Why aren't you motherfuckers doing it? You're too busy flying on your fucking jet. You know, they don't want the president to begin. This guy could end up making having a snowball effect. So they're going to try and nip this shit in the bud, so that the pastors who do basically rip off their constituents by taking their money and fucking living the life of Riley can keep doing that. Hence Joel Osteen during the crisis in America when it comes to flooding and hurricanes and stuff, he never really wanted to house people because he doesn't want to do that. He wants to he just wants to take their fucking money. The last thing he wants to do is lose money by housing people who have lost everything through the fucking floodings. And that's the most Christian thing he should be doing, but he doesn't want to fucking do that. All he wants to do is smile, pretend that he's a fucking Mormon or whatever the fuck he is, and take selfies with people and pretend that he's a good fucking person. I hate people like him.
He's an evangelical.
I know. But, you know, but I put him in that bracket of people who smile all the fucking time. You know, like he's in that.
Oh,
he's,
I see what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
he's
again,
a smiler. You know,
another thing I'd
fuck.
definitely do is I would revoke religious status and charity status from evangelicals because it's a scam. It's not Christianity. It's not. It's capitalism with God. That's all it is. And so they don't deserve a tax exempt status at all.
Well, I think if you've got your own plane and you've got 2 houses and 3 cars, you're not a Christian. Because the thing is that I think there's this passage by a guy, you might have heard Jesus, who said it's more easier to get a camel through the eye of a needle than it is for a rich man to get to heaven. I seem to remember that bit. You know what I mean? Sorry, it starts to piss me off now. Sorry.
No, but they only remember, they remember the anti-gay stuff. That's what they give a fuck about, and then they make up stuff about the fucking abortion, which is not even in the fucking Bible. That's the sort of stuff that they bring up. You know, Adam and Eve, or Adam and Steve, and shit like that. You know, so yeah, that's the only time they bring up the Bible. And then sometimes you might mention stuff in the Bible which is really stupid. It might not even be appropriate for children because they want to ban books and everything. They go, well, that's the old fucking Testament. Well, so fucking homophobia, but you don't give a shit about that. So yeah, these people. Yeah. Anyway, sorry, Chris.
Actually, abortion is in the Bible, and they're for it.
Really? Well, what's the passage?
If you're not sure that your wife's carrying your baby, guess what you can do to her?
Oh, yeah, abortion's in the Bible. Yeah,
child.
abortion's in the Bible. Yeah, I agree with you there. I thought you meant abortion's not in the Bible. Yeah.
Oh, that's what I heard. Sorry.
Sorry. I meant to say that my the way I said it was incorrect, but I agree. It was supposed to be the way you said it, which is how I was supposed to say it. That's So
I just want to get on this here. So lots of landlords have left the sector since they changed the tax rules, but that doesn't mean those houses have become cheap to buy. No, those houses have become abandoned. They can't. So the landlords. So what it is yeah, they're leaving the sector because interest rates skyrocketed, and they can't. They put the rent up, but nobody can afford to rent it. So the houses are laying dormant, and because the house prices are so high, nobody is buying the houses that they're selling. So they're fucked. They deserve to get fucked. I don't give a shit about landlords. All right. No offense, Christine. But, you know, this, all that's, and exactly because stock is lower, rents are going higher. So you understand, if you have council houses, which is what we used to have in this country and took pride in it, we wouldn't have this fucking problem at all. In fact, the councils are now buying these properties that are laying empty. They're buying them and they're turning them back into council houses. So yet again, we're going back to what we were before, after the war. And it just shows you time and time again that socialist policies are the way you fucking survive as a society. Yes. It's the only fucking way to do it. You have to take the profit margin out of everything that isn't something that you're trying to sell that is a pointless goods. All right. If it's a utility, if it's a house, if it's a service, it needs to be government owned for the fucking people. It's as simple as that.
Hello,
Christine.
TLD.
And 99% totally agree with you. And I think I'm one of the exceptions to the rules. But just because I'm the exception doesn't mean what you said shouldn't happen. Because I'm this small percentage of people, like I could get another $1,000 a month and be making cash, right? But I don't. I straight buy and charge.
And again, so to that point,
exception.
to that point, you have to rent out your rooms because to get by, because the social safety nets have been fucked in the ass by everyone. You have a bad back. You are disabled. I don't mean this. It's a thing. But technically, you should be classified as disabled because you can't do anything because you have your health problems, right? So in that regard, you've served your fucking time. So you should be compensated for the fact that you can't do what you can do. So your monetary needs should be met, like in normal situations, like we used to do in this fucking country. But because they aren't, you have to resort to renting out your rooms just to survive. And that's what I mean. If you go back to the systems that we used to have, all right, Vietnam has eradicated poverty from its country. It was its number one policy. China has absolutely eradicated poverty from about 85% of its country because it's in their creed. Doesn't matter if they're an authoritarian government, they still follow the socialist creed. There were no fucking homeless people in Soviet Russia, okay, because they followed their creed. Just because the governments were pieces of shit that used the system, like everyone's used the system to kind of manipulate their way into power or to get power and exploit it, they still followed the basic creed. Here, after the war, we had the promise to say we will house everyone, we will feed everyone, never again. Now, since Thatcher, they was like, no, fuck that. We need to make a profit out of everything, from the air you fucking breathe. But time and time again, and the reason I'm angry is because people scoff and laugh, say, oh, fucking lefties, socialism, it doesn't work, it's failed everywhere. It's only failed everywhere because countries have been bombed to shit for daring to go left wing. And you just see the 3 years under Allende in Chile, the transformation he did in that country was incredible. And that's why Henry Kissinger himself said it. I don't want socialists on our doorsteps. It's not good for profits. So this is what ends up happening. When Southern Rail went fucking bankrupt, okay, it's now government owned.
And what they do is they learn, but they don't learn from the mistakes. They just do it over and over again, and they pay more and more for those mistakes. You had council housing. Then it went privatized. Then the government went, whoops, we need those back. Now they got to buy those back, but they got to buy it. It's such a big profit. And then in 10 years, they'll be like, oh, no, we'll sell these properties. We don't need them.
Yeah.
Over and over. Gaz, you wanted something?
Yeah, I was just to say, like, because in my area, a lot of people can't afford. There's been like lots of new flats being built more or less every year.
Affordable housing.
Yeah, no. This is like literally blocks and blocks and blocks of files. And this is going to sound racist. It isn't. It's a statement of facts. They're all bought by flaming Arab and flaming Saudi oil money. They're literally bought by
and China, the Chinese as well.
Yeah, and the Chinese as well, right? Right. And the thing is that no people can afford them because the thing is they're usually about 600, 500 quid. And that's before your bills and stuff like that. And so even if you're living with two people, that's like 500 between the both of you, just for a little pokey flat with like maybe like a shit.
£500 rent down here, mate. It's triple that down here.
And they're just buying it for investment.
Just 1 second, guys. Hang on. So look, I'm not you know, this is the system we have. So you being a landlord buying your houses, that's fine. You know, I'm not going to shit on you for participating in what's available out there. You know, you're doing what you're fucking doing. All right, that's fair enough. But if I come into power, I'm taking your fucking houses away. And it's simple as that. I'll compensate you, obviously. I'll compensate everyone. But the beauty of it is, as soon as I go in, stock prices for houses will plummet. So I'll give you the going rate.
Yeah, it's exactly like with that's how you what's the word, increase household estates, make them affordable. Also make it that people can pay their bills on time. So that makes the city. I have people with what's the word, money in their pockets so they can buy shit. Because that's how you
capitalism. Yeah, capitalism is expensive. Capitalism is it costs countries billions and billions. It's not a system made to balance the books of a country. Okay, it is a system created to transfer all the wealth up to just a few fucking people, and all those black holes are filled in by constantly gutting benefits, constantly gutting council budgets, and all this kind of shit. And we're left in this perpetual debt of cut, no services, no nothing, no that. Well, in order to balance that book, then everyone else's stuff goes up. Your council tax goes up. Your wages stay low. Your food prices go up. Your travel costs go up. Your fucking car insurance go up. All this shit, it goes up. And so it's just not an economically viable system that we live in. It never was, and it never will be. When it was when we were taxing people correctly. Okay? That's it. After a certain amount of money, wealth that you have, you don't fucking need any more money. Give it back and contribute to society. You didn't exactly work your ass off for that. You've exploited other people's labor in the fucking first place. All right. And I'm not saying you should never be rich. Of course you should be rich. If something that you built and sell and all of that makes you a fuck ton of money, that's fine. But there has to be a cutoff point, because that money just gets squirreled away and is hoarded, and it's just left, and people crumble around it. So
and people wonder why I'm a socialist.
I was gonna say, when you said it never worked, I was just like, oh, and then you said with when we tax correctly, I'm like, okay, yeah, okay.
When we had the correct tax brackets, that's when it worked. But, socialism built England after the war. It's what built it. Clement Attlee, greatest prime minister we ever had, and he wasn't perfect. He was still a fucking, pro-colonialist and all this kind of shit. But it was a phenomenal what he did to build this country back. And the public was still stupid enough to vote him out after the next election. But he built the NHS. He got into motion of putting everything into public ownership, building council houses and all that. And that's what created the greatest uplift in social mobility in this country's fucking history. And then Thatcher comes along with the neoliberals and they all fucking tore it down. I blame Zam. Now, let's move on to WWE news. Well, not much is going on in WWE, guys. So, we can skip WWE. Okay, so 3 bits of tidbits, and we'll get to the more disgusting one later. So, firstly, we did do a video on it, but, The Rock is now ahead of the table at TKO Holdings, metaphorically speaking. He has $30 million worth of shares. I don't know what percentage of TKO Holdings he owns, but... not bad for a guy that started off where everybody hated him to ended up owning the fucking company that made him, pretty much. Guys, what are your thoughts? Because you weren't in the video.
Again, what does TKO actually do? Is it just a holding company?
TKO Holdings are the ones that own UFC and WWE.
Okay. Well, I mean, he's probably not going to be a majority owner if he's put 30 million, because I know that they're probably going to be a lot more than that. But good for him. I mean, if it's going to make him money down the line, because UFC is probably going to still be profitable. Plus, they bought WWE, and when the Netflix money starts coming in, he's probably going to get a lot more than that. So he's probably going to get a lot of money out of it, to be honest with you. And I would imagine that his net value, net worth is probably going to be close to $1 billion. Was the Netflix deal goes through?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, this deal will definitely put him up. Look, I mean, yeah, I'm not against this. I don't really like The Rock. I don't like Dwayne Johnson as much as I used to. I used to worship the guy like he was, but he just cringed himself into just having go away heat. But there's a lot he could do with this if he does do it. However, one of the more interesting things that came from this from all this is when he was talking, when they were asking him about whether he'll face Roman at WrestleMania, and obviously he's bigging it up, making it. He says, when I do it, I want it to be like the greatest night of ever, and all this kind of shit. So it doesn't look like he's going to be doing it this year. It might be saving it for next year, which is good. It gives him time to train properly, get back into it, ditch all the fucking films that he's going to be in, and just become a personality within the ring again, which will be good to see. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'm not against it. Whatever, man. It is what it is. They TKO want that brand recognition in The Rock, so that's what they're gonna get, and it's just gonna help with money. Gazzy.
I was just gonna say, is the XFL? Is that still going on? Because
he's launching that. Yeah, he's launching that as well.
No, he's already got launched, but I'm just wondering, is it still going on?
I don't know if it's still going on.
I have no clue.
What do you mean? He bought it. He bought it from Vince, but I don't know if he's launched a new season yet. I think that's coming after. No, it's not yet. No, because it's always after NFL season finishes.
The proper football.
Yeah, the proper adverts every 2 seconds. That I shaved my balls for the first time today. Well, good for you, Nazcodge. Good for you, mate. Make sure you get in between those lines. The fireworks, Christine.
I figured it out. I know how to do it now.
Sweet. Oh, there you go.
Do you have balls of fire? Do you have balls of fire, Dasco?
That's one.
Yeah, I hope. Don't forget, Lasco. A nice bit of vinegar afterwards is very good for the balls. Just for Zam, I want to be nice and smooth for him. Yeah, well, there you go, Zam.
You got a fan there, Zam.
You got a fan, mate. Somebody wants to be nice and smooth for you.
Oh, sorry, I was too busy talking to other people right now. I shave my balls all the time just for Zam. Oh, thank you, mate. Listen, I like shaving my balls. It's a sensational feeling of shaving and smoothness and everything like that. And then I like to slap on some aftershave afterwards just to feel that pain, baby. You know what I mean? Just to get that hurt feeling as well. There's a bit of both. So,
and also, you can have your cat lick your balls afterwards to catch any stragglers. That's Gary taught me that. I want to feel that tongue from my arms to tip. I can't imagine how heavily that would be. Hey, Zam, mate, you know what I mean? I'll tell you what, Zam has an OnlyFans called Only Haram. And if you sign up to it, he might do stuff for you on camera.
I do this.
Sorry, Zam.
I do this little segment called "What's Coming at My Arsehole Tonight," and then and what I do is I pucker up my cheeks, and you got a good look at my big brown eye, and then you have to guess what's going to pop out. You know what I mean? And it's not going to be anything sewage related. You get. Look at me. It won't be too difficult to guess because you will have multiple choice. It could be anything from a cricket bat, you know what I mean, to an iron lung, all types of things. So, yeah, come and join. Is my ass hairy? Of course it is. I mean, look.
It's like with those.
Look at this. Look at this. I might as well be fucking Greek with all this fucking hair. You know what I mean? So of course I am.
How dare you?
Oh,
we're not.
By the way, TLD, the Outlaws review will be out in about 13 hours from now. Keep an eye out, dude. Yeah.
XFL merged with the second tier football league last year. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, USFL. You're right. Guys, you can watch, but only with your glasses off. Well, he's not going to see much then, is he? He's just going to see a big blur.
I'll be okay with that.
Right. So, next, obviously, WWE is moving to Netflix. This is a very fucking good thing because, again, cable is dying and going on to Netflix. This is actually officially going to be Netflix's first venture into live television with WWE. The only thing that sucks is the WWE network is going to shut down, which is I haven't signed on to it for years now, but it's quite honestly the best streaming platform I've ever used in my life. So try to picture this, okay? You click on a wrestling match, and then within the time bar, it breaks down not just where each match is, but the beginning of the match, the middle of the match, and you can just skip to the finish of the match and all of this. So it's so intuitive. It was such a great streaming platform that I'm kind of gutted that they're going to shut it down. I hope Netflix, if they get all the catalog of old wrestling stuff, I hope that they do it the same way that the WWE Network did it, because it was really good. But it's also for watch-alongs next year. It's going to make it easier for us because we won't be needing to use dodgy streaming sites where it's crashing every 2 seconds. We could just click on Netflix and watch away. So yeah, I'm personally happy about this. I think this is great news. You know, yeah, my brother has Netflix for the boys, so obviously I siphon it from him. He has my Disney Plus when I sign up on the cheap months. So yeah, this is going to be sweet as. What are your people's thoughts, Zan?
Sorry, except repeat yourself. I was slightly distracted.
Oh, I'm just saying, like, it's great that WWE is going to Netflix. I think it's a good move.
Yeah,
and it's going to make it easier for us to do watch-alongs.
Yeah, fair enough.
I just think Zan was distracted because he was thinking of shaved balls, but that's my only point.
Yeah, he's also contemplating putting a mouse up his butt, like, you know. Gaz, your thoughts? Gaz, Earth to Gaz, are you frozen?
No. I'll start now. I'll start now. Yeah, I have Netflix, so it's pretty cool. If everything comes on Netflix, would it be Raw, SmackDown, the pay-per-views? Then yeah, that'll be pretty good. But then again, I don't really watch the live shows anymore anyway because I can't be asked with it. And if anything, I'll just get my little tidbits on YouTube, which gives me enough to keep me going regarding what's been happening on the television shows. And that's all I really need nowadays.
Yeah, I think for me, yeah, it's more. I'm just more happy about the pay-per-views and us doing watch-alongs. That's what I'm happy about for that. It just makes it easier for us. But yeah, like you, I don't watch like WWE anymore anyway. But I watch like the odd pay-per-views. But if Netflix gets their old catalog on there, then that's going to be fucking awesome because you can just watch the old matches. Gaz,
it's pretty good for WWE. Bit is in more homes. It's more international than the USA or Peacock or anything like that. It'll be good for them. And plus, the thing is, the only thing negative is that they've now got to make the shows good because now they're on a show where people can just go next. And if people don't clock enough, and if they do the shows they've been doing recently, I'd say until about a month ago, maybe 2, people are going to click off them because they're shit.
Yeah, well,
but like for me, I would never have bought this specific channel just for wrestling. So, like you said, it's going to open it up to more people, though. That's good. That's a good point.
Yeah, like more people have Netflix than they do anything else, and more people watch Netflix than they do literally any other fucking channel. So it's going to open up to more people. I mean, Gaz has a good point though. They have to be careful with the, see how many watch they get because they know they're not going to get the same amount that they get for a lot of their other shows. But that's why the deal was cheap. It was like $5 billion over 10 years with an opt-out after 5 years. Like when you think about WWE's value, $5 billion for 10 years is not a lot. You know, it's $500,000,000. It's $500 million a year.
But it could. But in defense of the good stuff, it could lead them to make better products because they now have to keep people engaged and watching it to get more profit because they can't rely on having adverts on Peacock or USA or wherever anymore. They have to make sure they're engaging the watcher for the full. I don't know. Hopefully they go back to 2 hours again. But because the thing is that because if people keep switching off, they're going to lose. Netflix is going to lose revenue, and they're just going to say, right, they probably have contingencies in their contract to say if you lose this many viewers over this month of time, we're going to take this month. I imagine that's in their contract pretty heavily in it because Netflix have lost their shirt on a couple of shows like that. So with something like this, they're doing it as a first thing. They definitely got it in there. I've been very surprised.
Well, also, they're not gonna have, they're not. I mean, they'll still have their ad breaks and all this kind of stuff, but what they're not gonna have is the same restrictions that they would have on, say, USA Network. So they can get a lot grittier with it. They can get a lot more sweary and violent and all this kind of shit with it now. There isn't that network restriction that was placed on there. They might want to move away from being just a family product like PG-13 and might move to a more mature model. So 78 million homes in America can reach.
Or have
exactly.
Two streams. Yeah. Have two streams. One is more kid-friendly stream and one is more adult stream.
Yeah,
to expand their catalog, right?
Yeah.
No, they don't need to. Yeah, with Netflix as well now, kids will be fucking tuning in. Kids tuned in, became fans when it was the Attitude Era. When it was the most.
If you really want to be kid-friendly, just do Flaming Saturday Night's Main Event again or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. Rick, what are your thoughts? I mean, Rick is like the biggest wrestling fan here in terms of he goes to a lot of the shows and pays for the pay-per-views.
Actually, I'm a big fan because I actually do the fucking thing.
Well, yeah, you do the fucking thing, but he's a consumer. Let's say the biggest consumer of it. So yeah, but whilst we get that, we also have the legacy of Vince McMahon is going to be that of nothing but a sadistic, rapist, piece of shit human being.
Oh, God.
So, ex-boss Vince McMahon has been accused of sexual misconduct and sex trafficking. A lawsuit brought by former employee claims WWE benefited financially from a commercial sex act venture orchestrated by McMahon by having wrestling talent sign new contracts after presenting her as a sexual commodity for their use. Jesus fucking Christ. The co-founder of WWE, Vince McMahon, as he wasn't the co-founder. What? Anyway,
his dad.
His dad fucking founded it with his grandmother or something, wasn't it? Anyway, has been accused of serious sexual misconduct and sex trafficking claims, which he denies. He denies it, but she's got the fucking text messages. Former WWE employer Janelle Grant, who worked in the company's legal and talent departments, had agreed to be named in the case, filed a graphic 67-page lawsuit in which she alleged she was a victim of physical and emotional abuse, SA, and trafficking at the firm. She claimed McMahon recruited people to have sex with her at WWE headquarters and had subjected her to acts of extreme cruelty and degradation that caused her to become numb to reality in order to survive the horrific encounters, like many victims have done. McMahon, now 78, is also accused of passing around sexually explicit photos and videos of Mrs. Grant to other men, including other WWE employees, such as Brock Lesnar. He stepped down as chief executive in 2022 amid allegations of misconduct. The other defendants in the case were named as WWE and John Laurinaitis, the company's former head of talent relations and human garbage bag. A spokesperson for McMahon said that he denies the allegations. The lawsuit replete with lies, obscene, made-up instances that never occurred. You're fired, pal. And a vindictive distortion of the truth. He will vigorously defend himself. Yeah, good luck with that. They said in a statement, right? McMahon befriends Grant. So McMahon, who now serves as an executive chairman of TKO Group for now, merged his WWE, blah, 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 blah. According to the lawsuit, during several meetings about the potential job at WWE, McMahon greeted Miss Grant in his underwear, touched her, repeatedly asked for hugs, and spent hours sharing intimate details about his personal life. She alleges that he eventually made it clear that one of the requirements of the job was a physical relationship with him and later with Laurinaitis and others. McMahon allegedly would give Miss Grant gifts over the following few years to keep her under his control, including a BMW, numerous gift cards, luxury jewelry and clothing, and £15,000 towards surgery.
Elon Musk did something similar.
Yeah, a sexual
Yeah.
commodity. Mr. McMahon was accused of recruiting his physical therapist to engage in a threesome with himself and Miss Grant and referred to her as his girlfriend in order to accomplish this. It is also alleged that Mr. Mark offered one of his star wrestlers, a person not named in the lawsuit, sex with Miss Grant as a perk in 2021. Trafficking. The lawsuit claims WWE benefited financially from a commercial sex act venture orchestrated by Mr. McMahon by having wrestling talent sign new contracts after presenting her as a sexual commodity for their use. A number of screenshots depicting explicit messages allegedly sent by Mr. McMahon to Miss Grant were also included in the documents. Miss Grant seeking compensation and to void a $3 million non-disclosure agreement, of which she alleges she's only received £1 million. So basically, when all this first came out, she agreed to take the compensation of $3 million and to sign an NDA so no further details could come out. This is when it happened back in 2021, 22, whenever it happened. the whole thing. McMahon, doing what McMahon always does, has not paid her the full money. So she has a right now to void the non-disclosure agreement and to basically take him to fucking town now because he reneged on the agreement. Her representative said she waived her anonymity as she hopes that her lawsuit will prevent other women from being victimized. WWE's parent company issued a statement saying it's taking the allegations very seriously. It is said Mr. McMahon does not control TKO, nor does it oversee the day-to-day operations of WWE. While this matter dates TKO executives and blah, blah, blah. And I was listening to Jim Cornette earlier, and obviously they broke down more details about what happened. This motherfucker, like, he would name his dildos after other wrestlers that he used on her. He shat on her head. Like, he is a sick fucking human being. He is sick in the head. Yes, Christine.
All right. There are going to be a lot of people, no offense, because this is a male-dominated sport, attacking her. They're going to say, why didn't she just quit? This is why. This is just one of probably many reasons why. If she quit, she wouldn't just have lost her livelihood in not being employed at that facility. He probably made it very clear to her, or even just if she felt he would have done this, spread the word, and she wouldn't have been employable anywhere. So that's the threat for a loss of livelihood, a home, food, shelter, safety. So this is bullshit when people say she could have just quit. They're also going to say that she's in it just for the money. If she were in it just for the money, she had the opportunity to do this with her name not being out there in the public. She could have asked a judge to be a Jane Doe. But she's saying, no, I'm not in this for the money. I don't care who knows. This is me. This happened to me. I'm not hiding it. It's not for the money. This is my name. So that's just a couple things.
Yeah. Gaz.
Yes, Christine, like during COVID, there was a whole thing called Speaking Out, where a lot of, especially in the UK, British wrestlers came out, with allegations. Now, whether they're true or not, again, I'm not going to get into, but the main gist is that a lot of people got left go. And the thing is that this is the same sort of thing that, again, people don't understand that when women go into wrestling or men or whoever it is, they're in a vulnerable position because they're with people, they're going to cage where usually they don't know people unless one of their friends is into wrestling as well, comes with them. They're basically on their own, usually at a very young age, doing, like being coached by people, and if that person breaches your trust. So basically what my dad did was basically agree with her. I know she was a bit older. be basically rude by basically talking about his personal life, his underwear, breaching the trust when she was in a vulnerable position, she was unemployed, and basically get her to agree to a lot of stuff that was probably inappropriate. Now, look, if they started to work together, and she then said, "Hey, I like you," and they started to see each other, fair enough. That's their choice as adults. But there seems to be a lot of manipulation. That one of the contingencies of her employment was to have a relationship with my man and then have a relationship with Laurinaitis and to have her nudes basically spin around the locker room.
Also, her vulnerability stemmed from the fact that she had just lost her parents as well.
Yeah.
And she was out of a job and she was just desperate. And quickly before anyone, wait 1 second. Well, please wait 1 second because this one here, he's not innocent. This is why he paid $3 million.
Yeah, I was about to say the same thing.
Sign an NDA. Okay. But the fact that he's reneged on the deal and he's only paid her $1 million, she's like, well, fuck it then. I'm going to take him to task and clean him out. Which brings me on to this one. It is a civil suit, not a criminal suit, because I don't fucking know why it's not a criminal suit. But McMahon reneged on the deal. If he was innocent, he wouldn't have needed to pay $3 million and get her to sign an NDA. That's not how this fucking works. But he is guilty. That's why we can openly say what a piece of shit of a human he is. And this is just yet another allegation, another notch in the fucking bedpost that is the piece of shit that is Vince McMahon, one of the worst human beings around. Okay, and that's it. Nothing else to say. That's it. It doesn't matter that it's about money. Okay, the evidence is there. You will see the evidence. She has the fucking evidence. This is why Vince McMahon wanted to settle. All right, it's as simple as that. You don't just say, if you're innocent, you don't say, you know what, I want this to go under the rug. Here's $3 million and sign this NDA. If it was knowing Vince McMahon, and I know Vince McMahon because it's exactly what happened with the stereo cases, he will take your ass to the fucking cleaners. He will take you to court. He will make it public, and he will make sure that if you're lying, because to be fair, if this was all bullshit, then yeah, Vince McMahon should make a meal of a person trying to extort him. But that's not the case. If you know history, again, if you're within our circle and you know these kind of circles of abuse and this kind of history, you know what happens every fucking time. You are guilty the minute you pay the victim off. Christine.
And it's very hard when someone is raped to go to court and prove it. There's unfair, I don't know why the advantage is there, but you have to almost double prove that this happened. And he knows that. His lawyers would know that. They would go to court because it's such a hard thing to prove. So they must know she's got fucking receipts, man. She's got receipts. And guys, when he said he was grooming her, I could totally see that now, because it started with underwear and it went all the way up to shit on her head, like manipulation, psychological.
Yeah, it's a classic grooming case because she's young as well. She's in her 20s, so she's not.
And there might be other women as well, which is the crazy thing, because she did mention about she doesn't want other girls to be affected by this or something along those lines.
Yeah, the referee, the referee paid off.
Yeah, even the referee got paid off. He fucking knew what was going off.
I'm a big guy about Brock Lesnar, by the way. I didn't think he would be like that. I kind of got my information wrong a little bit. Initially, I just thought he was sharing out pictures, but no, he was sharing her out. And one of the people he shared her out to was Brock Lesnar. So,
no, he didn't share her out to Brock Lesnar. Oh, no, did he? Yeah, I think he did.
Yeah, because she said in the article that you just read out that in 2021, she was offered as sex with her was offered as a perk in 2021 for him to sign a new deal. And I thought that is done is repulsive.
Rigby, sorry. We read the article, like, he was sexually assaulted by her and John Laurinaitis in the office. They would lock the door. Remember that? I'll happily bring the article up again just to remind you, dude.
No.
What did it say?
Do you think he should still go in the hall? He should still go in the Hall of Fame. No, but she should go in the Hall of Fame for bringing him down.
In June 2021, McMahon and defendant Laurinaitis. This, by the way, Laurinaitis must not be forgotten in all of this. Sexually assaulted Ms. Grant inside Laurinaitis' office in WWE headquarters while colleagues were busy at their desk behind the locked door. The two men cornered her and pulled her in between them, forcibly touched her before ultimately putting her on the top of a table in between them. She begged them to stop. But they forced themselves on her, each taking turns restraining her for the other while saying no means yes and take it, bitch. There you go.
Yeah, that was the Sky News article is not the best one to read it off of.
No, this is the NoDQ.com.
Rick, right? Women do not go to the police because they're not believed.
Come on, Rick. Don't pander to him. Don't pander to him in this. And we're not going through this again. Okay, I've talked about it on here countless times. Why this fucking shit happens, okay, and what happens with victims. So please, let's be grown-ups about this. Again, if Vince was innocent, he wouldn't have paid $3 million 2 years ago. All right. Okay, do you understand? You don't pay that money if you're innocent.
He doesn't want to understand.
To lose by making it go to court. He had nothing to lose. If he was innocent, he would have had nothing to lose by going to court. But he paid her off an NDA. He Jerichoed her with an NDA. So let's, critical thinking is so important. Use it.
If we're gonna just describe the actual events, just let me know. I'll pop out during those, and then I'll come back. Okay?
Yeah, no, we're okay, Christine. Sorry, we're fine.
Okay.
I'm moving on from that anyway, because Slim Jim have pulled their sponsorship for tomorrow after the allegations, so they won't be sponsoring the Royal Rumble, which is nice because it means we won't get a bunch of matches with fucking Slim Jim all over the bloody place, being projected everywhere.
What was the pay-per-view with ruffles all over the place? That was ridiculous.
Yeah, that was the last pay-per-view they did. It had ruffles.
I was gonna order some Slim Jims, but then I'm looking to spend like 30-40 quid for a fucking salami stick. And I thought, fuck that. Yeah, but I want to do a comparison. What's better, Slim Jim or Pepperami? I do feel Pepperami will win outright. But yeah.
Just fucking get Cheeto. Send some fucking stuff over. Get Cheeto to send you. You sent him a food package.
Yeah. Send me if he can.
And we'll do when I get my box and you get your box, we'll do a combined opening.
Yeah, as soon as I get speak, I'll be doing your box.
I've ruffled the feathers a little bit. I've ruffled the feathers with some of the Star Trek guys, unfortunately.
Why?
But I mentioned I was just typing to them, telling them about this Gary Graham being a racist. Yeah, maybe it's best that maybe if I do come on, I feel obligated to bring it up, and maybe one of you guys should bring it up. None of them want to bring it up, so I thought maybe I should come on and bring it up, and they don't want me to come along, and so fine, I won't come along. But initially, it's ruffled people's feathers talking about it a little bit,
Well, fuck him,
Yeah, that's what I said. Fuck, he's a racist cunt. So I don't care that he's dead, like dead or alive. If you're a racist, and the comments he made about black people, So yeah, fuck him.
He's not a racist.
Of course he's not, and you're not a racist either, Rick B.
Yeah, no, not at all. Okay, moving on. An industry close to all of our hearts that pains us, and the never-ending pain that it brings us. So let me bring up the article, final article of the day, because I don't want to stay on stream any longer because I want to go to bed. Microsoft Video Games Division lays off 1,900 staff. This was within the Activision part of them. Almost 2,000 workers in Microsoft's gaming division are to be laid off after its $69 billion merger deal acquisition. It's not a merger. Okay, a memo from Xbox boss Phil Spencer to workers says the company plans to shed 2,000 jobs of its 22,000 staff. It was sent 3 months after the software giant acquired Activision Blizzard, known for Call. In the letter verified as genuine by Microsoft, Mr. Spencer says losing staff was a painful decision, but keeping your annual salary of multiple millions of dollars a year is not a very painful decision for you to do, isn't it? Take a pay cut. First published by tech website The Verge, the message suggests staff within the Xbox division publishers ZeniMax, which oversees studios including Bethesda and Arcane, would also be affected, and so forth and so on. I'm not going to go into the details of it, but also here, if we go down, basically, so despite massive profits by both Activision Blizzard and by fucking Microsoft, they're laying off staff because they acquired the company and they're just so-called trimming the fat. But that trimming the fat sadly comes at a time where the whole industry is trimming jobs. So Tencent, who owns Riot Games, they've cut 11% of their global workforce. Amazon, their gaming division, they've cut a load of jobs in their gaming industry. Fortnite maker Epic Games is cutting 16% of its workforce. Earlier this week, makers of League of Legends announced it was shedding 11% of its workforce. It followed 18,000 job losses at the game engine maker Unity, 500 layoffs at Amazon-owned streaming platform Twitch, and redundancy rounds at smaller studios. Even the Embracer Group has done mass layoffs. So the whole industry, so estimates put the total number of gaming industry job losses last year at more than 10,000, although the true total is thought to be a lot higher. Experts believe the cost of living crisis and games industry scaling back after the boost from the COVID pandemic have played part in the trend. So, of course, when everyone was at home and everyone was using the products a lot more, they went on a huge hiring spree. We remember that. But now, those people were still in the cost of living crisis, are all losing their jobs en masse in the tech industry and the gaming industry. Your guys' thoughts? Christine, I'll go to you.
Why not go up here on a limb? The people that made billions off these companies, I don't know, not get their bonus at Christmas and keep them employed that actually got them their money?
Yeah, exactly. They're well within their they can comfortably afford to keep these people on. You know, some companies might argue dropping global revenues and they're justifying their firing, but when your fucking salary is 60, 70, 80 million dollars a fucking year, then that's the problem. If we cut 3 of you, we can save more jobs and hire more people. Gaz.
But this is back to our capitalism thing. If you cut more people, it means more profit for you and more money in your pocket. Because you don't have to spend it on paying your workers a proper wage. I mean, because coders and all that sort of stuff, the understaff get shit on anyway in gaming. I mean, I can't remember. Especially
it's the worst industry to work in.
But really getting rid of what 2,000 workers they got rid of, yeah. Yeah. So what makes them think that they're capable of making the same profits again next year? I mean, they must be really fucking stupid.
Life services,
2,000 workers. Even life services had been around before this year, dude. I mean, by cutting 2,000 workers doesn't mean shit.
I'm not saying it makes sense. It doesn't.
It doesn't make sense. That's what I'm saying. Like, it doesn't like. I just don't know.
Sadly, the way the system is that when you can show that you're still a profitable company, even though you're slashing your workforce, it makes your stock prices go up, and it makes those at the top even richer. It's about functionality. You're showing that your company can still function with a depleted workforce because you don't give a fuck about the workers now having extra work, working longer hours, don't get the same fucking pay as they used to. All right, it just shows to the stockholders. That's why. The stock market is just a one big stupid fucking Ponzi scheme and all that. Daniel Vance, surprised you lot didn't cover Brendan Kavanaugh's interaction with Chinese state. It wasn't Chinese state TV, it was Chinese state officials over the realtor film in public there in the UK. I glossed over it, but you know what? The video was so fucking long. I didn't care. But basically, what happened? Go on, Zan. Sorry.
No, I got two news things I want to bring up, but you finish what you're saying.
I want to basically, Ginger.
Yeah.
Basically.
What? Oh yeah.
You
So
were saying-
basically, so a guy that has a YouTube channel where I don't even know who this fucking guy is, but he's playing a piano at a train station or a station.
Oh, I
or
saw
whatever.
that. Yeah.
And in the background, there's officials from
Pancras it was.
China there, and they turn around. They say to him, "Don't film us. You can't film here. You don't film us." Which, okay, in the UK, you can film in a public space. There's no laws against it. But they could have simply just said, "Oh, we don't want to be filmed," and moved and gone away, and that's it. But because they did what they did, thinking that this is like the UK, they've escalated it and they've made themselves very famous. But our police, just thick fucking idiots, and they just watch the whole
police are there for the powerful and the rich.
Yeah,
they're there for the powerful. Yeah.
Yeah.
What were you saying, Ginger? What did the cops do?
They basically sided with the Chinese, from my understanding, and my memory is a bit flaky on it. But yeah, and it's just like, that's not the law, you stupid cunts. Some police say you can't film us in public. Yes, I fucking can. It's a public space. I can film just because you're happy to be in the shot. I don't give a shit. So yeah, just a real shit show, and you know, people like the Chinese needing to understand that, hey, this isn't your fucking country. You know, if you tell me I can't film in your country, that's fine. I respect that. But this ain't your fucking country, mate.
Or
so,
even if you're from the country and you don't want to be filmed, walk the fuck away.
Yeah, exactly. Stop it. Stop trying to bite my eyes.
I got
they could have just walked away. Simple as that.
I've got a couple of news articles I want to read. This is to do with some. This one is kind of recent. I'll bring this one up first. It's about a young boy. Oh no, sorry, that's the wrong screen. My bad. Thank God that wasn't porn. This is
thank God when he said it's a young boy that it wasn't porn.
Yeah.
Oh, this.
Okay, social services and police were alerted more than 60 times to concerns over the welfare of a 9-year-old boy in the years of torture before he was brutally killed by his mother and stepfather. Alfie Steele of Droitwich, Worcestershire, died in February 2021 after his head was repeatedly held under the water in a bath following months of cruelty, which left him, because it's hard to read, more than 50 injuries. A child safeguard practice review published on Friday by the Worcestershire Safeguard Children Partnership highlighted a catalogue of missed opportunities by the authorities, including that the boy was classed as safe and well after home visits when he was not spoken to. A trial at Coventry Crown Court was told that 999 calls made by the neighbours in April, May, and August 2020 had supplied details of Alfie's ordeal, including a call saying it sounded like he was being hit and held under the water. Freedom of information request by the BBC revealed on Friday that professionals were in fact contacted by people concerned about the boy's welfare as many as 64 times between 2018 and 2020. Of those referrals, 36 were made to Worcestershire County Council and 28 were made to West Mercia Police. Alfie's grandparents, Paul and Elina Scott, told the broadcasters that they are living in a nightmare following the tragic death of their beloved grandson. Speaking about the 64 referrals, an angry and upset Mr. Scott said, "Every single one of them times is a time that they could have stopped my grandson from dying. That's not just a number to me." He added, "Social services acted like it was our fault with the way that they were fighting us." After Friday's devastating report, which stated that Alfie was subject to child protection plan to neglect in 2018, Mr. Scott said, "It just makes me want to cry. The amount of time it shows in here that Alfie didn't have to die." Alfie's mother, Carla Scott, was jailed in June last year for 27 years for manslaughter. And her partner, Dirk Howell, was ordered to serve life with a minimum term of 32 years for murder. He's going to be a dead man there. Yeah, there's a lot of things in prison you can go in for fucking around with kids, and a lot of these guys are parents themselves in jail. Then yeah, Alfie, this guy Dirk Howell's a dead man. The couple's 6 weeks trial was told Alfie was denied food as an act of cruelty and routinely subjected to other sinister punishments, including being locked outside his Vashon Drive home in cold weather. Scott, 35, and Howell, 41, were told at the sentencing hearing that what they had done amounted to torture of Alfie. By August 2019, the review states concerns were being raised by family members and neighbors about Howell's criminal history, his aggression, including shouting at Alfie, and his drug use, triggering a safeguarding strategy discussion. At the time, Howell was under investigation for burglary of an elderly man where firearms were stolen. Between May 2019 and January 2020, Howell was subject to post-release supervision by the probation service, but the service was unaware that he had threatened neighbors with reprisals for reporting concerns about Alfie, a clear breach of his supervision requirements. Mr. Scott said family members had told social workers of Howell's criminal past, adding, "We reported Howell again and again to social services and nothing was done. Nobody joined the dots. So many chances were missed. They know they let Alfie down." Mrs. Man, she looks like he's fucked. Mrs. Scott said, we used to report bruises. We report little things, the niggles. We were just dismissed. An investigation. Sorry, I want to get rid of this shit here. An investigation by the Independent Office for Police Conduct is ongoing into the contact West Mercia Police had with Alfie, Scott and Howell prior to the killing, conducted by independent reviewers. Jane Whiffen report said professionals had placed too much reliance on Alfie himself to share concerns and evidence that he was being abused and harmed. It found that the professionals who worked with Alfie were hardworking and showed care and commitment to him and the family, but they were often hampered by two adults who sought to deliberately lie, mislead, and cover up what was happening. I mean, the fact that this is the first time they come across parents who are covering up shit, it shows you how incompetent they are. I mean, you're telling me as social workers that you're not able to decipher when people are bullshitting? Ridiculous. And 64 accounts. I mean, come on. The 23-page review made 8 recommendations to agencies, including the WSCP and the probation service. The recommendations include a call for practitioners to be provided with guidance to strengthen child protection plans by supporting family members and neighbors who report concerns. It goes on. I mean, it's almost done, actually.
Yeah, we don't need to read the rest of it.
Okay, fair enough. But,
yeah, we don't need the rest of it.
Call them professionals? Call those people professionals? Oh, that's so insulting.
No, social services. Okay, so it's a mixed bag. So number one, they're underfunded and stretched to the hilts. Okay.
Yes.
Very stressful job to have. Number two, though, a lot of them are fucking useless at their job. They are fucking useless. We have so many laws that protect the wrong kind of people in this fucking country, and that's because the care system is fucked, and they don't want to put the kids into the care system because there's nowhere for those kids to go. So they basically just try to move the goalposts and make excuses all the time. I worked in the fucking care industry. I had to deal with these people a lot of the time. They were just useless fucking idiots for the most part. You'd get one or two really good ones, but for the most part, it's just people that they're hiring, like, obviously they go for a vigorous training program, but the people that want to become social workers, majority of them, at least from my experience, doing it because it's good fucking money, like really good money. The training is crazy, but once you're in, it's basically just, casework after casework after casework. But the way they work is they just fucking allocate it to lower rebs within the office to kind of fob them off. Yeah, you phoned, you sort it out, blah, blah, blah. But anyway, Gaz.
I was just going to say, to follow what Gigi said, the social workers here in this country get overworked because, they get I think somebody did one of those journalism pieces where they sat in and they said one guy or one girl got gets like 40 cases a month, and there's no way to apply proper care when you're just getting that. So they're having to work through the cases like that. And the thing is, the good ones are the ones who were able to cope with that. But the average person can't cope with that. That's ridiculous.
Or quit.
But,
Their funding has been cut. But again, I'm sorry, but you call in 64 fucking times, and you do nothing, and you believe the fucking parents despite what everyone else said. Like, how fucking stupid are you? Like, that is baby P levels of fucking incredible neglect and stupidity. And whoever, and even the fucking police, whoever fobbed these people away who raised concerns need to be prosecuted too. This is unacceptable. Okay, you should not get away with this kind of stuff. That poor fucking child was tortured to death, okay, through no fault of his own, and the parents get done for manslaughter. No, I'm sorry. Did they say how long they got sentenced for, Zam? Sorry.
One was like the mother was like 25 years or something like that, or maybe 31 years, 27 years, and the stepdad was like life. But
30
okay, that's right. Good. That's what they deserve. I was going to say, because it was manslaughter, I thought they would have got like 10 years.
Abusers of kids always get fucked in jail. Always. Look, jail is not like people. Yeah, like people. Jail is not it's not like people always think, oh, they're going to get punished in jail. Sometimes you get recruited in jail. But if you fuck with kids, you are frowned upon in jail society. So yeah, go on, Christine.
I agree, Zam. In jail, they're going to get punished quite a bit, and I hope they do by the other inmates. But that's not the job of the inmates. You know, that's our job as a society, the justice system, the care workers that were supposed to look out for that child. They shouldn't have criminals doing our job. That's dystopia right there. I wrote some notes. If a professional doesn't even speak to the child once, you're culpable. And they didn't. They even admit it. They didn't even speak to the child once. Family members and neighbors reported this, but I'm going to trust the parents that have been accused. Sure, you're overworked, but then if it's too overwhelming, okay, then you do the benefit of the doubt and you say it's happening and you remove the child, because it's better if it's not happening and you take the child out of there than if it is happening and you don't take the child out of there.
Yeah. I mean, let's just cut it in half. By the 30-second time, if you haven't figured out shit's going on, then what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like, it's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. No, heads need to fucking roll for this. Again, I could bring it into a personal situation. So my cousin with his ex, she was is a fucking terrible mother, and she was neglecting the kids, like my cousin's kids. Okay, and he got social services involved. They turn up at the doorstep, said, "We need to come in. We need to have a talk about this, and that. We need to inspect." She said, "No, close the door on them." That was it. They came with police officers as well. And she said, "No, you're not coming in. Bye-bye." Close the door. And they didn't do a fucking thing. Thankfully, since all that shit and pressure from my cousin, the mother's actually gotten better and isn't neglected. She's still a fucking idiot, but at least she's better at looking after it. And, the twins are wonderful girls, you know what I mean? But the fact that, again, this is why I have such disdain for social services, because again, it affected somebody I know personally, but it also, I worked in the care industry, and especially when the Tories came in and they started making cuts, and basically they went after disabled people. All right, the social services were coming in, fucking cock of the walk, all aggressive, like, "We're going to cut your funding, mate. You're going to take away this, take away service from that. They're no longer allowed here. They got to fuck off back closer to home," and all this kind of shit. I'm like, nobody will take them. Our day center was literally called Last Chance Saloon, because if they failed at our day center, that was it. They were going to go into a home locked away because they had too many behavioral difficulties that there is a public safety. So when they took them out of our service, the majority of the time it was never recommended. Some social services, when they took our students away, was fair enough, because in some instances they had progressed so well and made such great leaps and bounds that they didn't need our service, and they were just kept here for the parents' convenience when it wasn't a necessity, especially as the behaviors had improved at home. But a lot of the other times it's just cutting funding and sticking them somewhere closer to home, because some people lived out of borough in different parts of London, and those services would be inadequate, and all the behaviors that were dealt with came running back, and they got even worse. And they tried to bring them back to us, but we couldn't, because their space had been filled. So
and they cut the funding to social services for the child thing as well. I bet you any money.
Social services are struggling now. They are struggling. The number one jobs being posted on my own council's website is all for social services. There's 10 social services jobs.
And it's not just England. In the States, and I'm sure here in Canada, it's happening too. But you know, the big bad right is all about family and caring for those children till it's born, and then fuck them. And
when they say family, they mean money. It's all about money and control. Money. They don't give a fuck about that.
I got one more. Is it like more British news?
I got something else I want to bring up.
This is not that great, unfortunately. This is something which came up. It was about a killing spree that happened in Nottingham.
This is what I was going to bring up.
Yeah, a man responsible for killing 2 students and a school caretaker on the streets of Nottingham, and then attempted to run over 3 pedestrians, has been sentenced. Valdo Calocane, I think that's how you say it, age 32, will be detained in a high security hospital following his sentence at Nottingham Crown Court on the 25th of January, which was yesterday. The judge told Calocane, it's likely that he will never be released, so that he can receive treatment for paranoid schizophrenia, a mental illness that can be mitigated with treatment but not cured. Judge Mr. Justice Turner added that he was satisfied that Calocane would not have committed his appalling crimes had he not been suffering from the illness. I mean, let's be honest. Usually, people who commit crimes are fucked in the head. Commit crimes like that, just randomly killing people, like it's fucking GTA.
Well, he's schizophrenic. That's pretty much standard protocol.
Yeah.
For a lot of them. And people are outraged saying justice isn't served because he's not in prison. No, but he's indefinitely going to be held into a mental hospital. So,
but he should be.
Yeah. You're going to you can't put a paranoid schizophrenic in a prison. It's a danger to the rest of the prisoners. You'll fuck them up. So again, stupid people not understand. I say stupid people, you know, but that's not right. They're outraged because they're the victims. You know, so I'm sorry, I take that back. What I said, but that's the reality. Is when you've got mental illness that severe. It's the same with the guy that hacked GTA. Like he's on the spectrum so severely, and he has such behavioral issues and violent issues that they've put him indefinitely in a mental hospital.
I would like to say one thing. Not everyone that is paranoid schizophrenic will be like this. There are different levels, and if you're medicated, I have a friend that's schizophrenic. She lives by herself. She's nonviolent. If she were off her medication, she would never do this. But she's medicated. This is a severe case, and he should be in a home, in a psych ward, away from people that he can harm, and that would include other prisoners.
Yeah, exactly. Zam.
Okay, so let me finish up the article, and I'll get your word in, Gary. The University of Nottingham student Grace O'Malley Kumar and Barnaby Webber, both 19, were fatally stabbed in Ilkeston Road. They were walking home from an end-of-term party at some nightclub I can't pronounce, and were around 200 meters from their student accommodation when the savage attack occurred. Just over an hour later, school caretaker Ian Coe, 65, was killed in a further knife attack in Magdala Road, where his white van was stolen by Calocane. 3 people were then hit by the van and were lucky to survive the impact. Callocane was located by the police shortly after the attack. He was tasered by armed police officers in Bentinck Road and arrested and charged with 3 murders and 3 attempted murders. Callocane, of no fixed address, pleaded guilty to 3 counts of manslaughter by the reasons of diminished responsibility and 3 counts of attempted murder at the Nottingham Crown Court. The Crown accepted his pleas after 4 psychiatric reports found Callocane suffered from paranoid schizophrenia and had a serious mental health episode at the time of the attacks. However, they said that he would have understood the nature of his conduct, namely killing his victims with a knife and running with 3 others in a van. Yeah, you know what you're doing, paranoid schizophrenia or not. You know what the fuck you're doing. Yeah, am I being maybe minimal on this? Am I sounding like a bit of a cunt? You know, like.
Well, just think of it like being under a kind of drug-infused craze. That's what it is. You know, when the personality switches again, they won't even fucking know what they did.
Yeah.
So again, across
like
the road
shrooms.
from me,
like shrooms.
So across the road from me, but it's funny how the mind works. I'll give you a prime example. So across the road from me, about 2009, this would have been 2009. Where I have my mechanics, across the road from me, I used to have mechanics there, and one of the guy, Roy, he used to live there on that land in a caravan. He was a paranoid schizophrenic, and when he did his back in, he was taking medication for that, but the medication for that and the medication for his schizophrenia was making him sick, so he stopped taking his fucking medication for his schizophrenia, and then we started seeing pockets of him just saying absolutely crazy shit, making wild accusations, and then the next day having no recollection of doing it. And then what happened to him is he ended up snapping, and he started smashing and attacking all the cars on the street. And he tried to break into people's houses with a machete and attack them as well. The irony is, because me and my dad were the ones helping to look after him and feeding him because he was down on his luck, the 2 cars that didn't get attacked on the street were ours. Everyone else just got smashed to shit. And he nearly tried to hack a fucking person where they ran into the house. Obviously, he got taken away. He got put on his medication and all this kind of shit. But again, the system, within 3 months, he was back again. And he had nowhere to go, so he was back at the caravan. Thankfully, though, he was being monitored daily. And we never had an outburst again, but then he sadly died of a heart attack. But and he had no recollection of what he did. None.
Yeah. You can because people go after drugs for many reasons. There's now a system where you can get an injection if you're paranoid schizophrenic, so the medication will last a whole month, which is great.
That's great.
I'm not schizophrenic, but I know schizophrenics, and I worked on a psych floor before I became a full nurse. I had to do different places, and one of them was a psych floor. It's kind of like when you're not on your medication, you're on shrooms, if you've ever done shrooms. And everything you see and hear when you're on shrooms seems very real and very reasonable. There's tactile sensations, there's visual, there's audible, taste. It's real. And then when you're medicated, you're like, okay, I know now those things weren't real, but at the time I was convinced, I met one woman on the psych floor who would walk up against the wall because she was convinced the sprinkler system was a camera. 6 weeks later, she's on her pills and she's like, oh, I'm so sorry. I was acting so strange, but I really thought they were cameras.
Bless. Yeah. It's crazy. Do you remember this guy? Do you remember when this guy that we're talking about with Nottingham? He tried to climb through an old lady's window and she smacked him away.
Oh, really? Okay. I never knew that.
So his first victim would have been an old lady, but she just twatted him away.
I also want to add, that people like him obviously exist all over the world. And just to say that, isn't it in a way better for our safety that someone like this guy didn't have easy access to guns? Because if he did, and I say easy access.
Yeah.
Which is argument. Honestly, I do feel a lot of the shit that's happened in the States, all these mass shootings, are
Exactly.
by paranoid schizophrenics. So, and the fact they don't do background checks or mental checks because they want everyone to have a gun, and next thing you know, people in double figures have been killed.
Yep.
Yeah.
Gary?
Gaz. You're muted.
Sorry, Mum just spoke to me. Apparently on the news today they said that they're gonna have another judge rehear the case. So does he say that the judgment wasn't harsh enough or something like that? I was like, the dude's gonna be in mental ward for the rest of his life, which is where he should be getting treated.
He's locked up for life. What else can they do?
But apparently it's
They can
because
murder other people.
They said that, he should be in prison. I'm thinking, no, he'll be a danger to himself and other people.
Exactly. You're right.
And the thing is that this is the way
we've got to the public, court of public opinions now. Is this why? And again, I hate saying this because there are people obviously who have lost, 3 people that have lost their fucking family here. So obviously they only see it as they need to be behind bars, not receiving treatment. But they don't realize that if they gets overturned and he does go to fucking prison and he's not properly looked after, he'll have another violent outburst and more people will die.
Yep. And it's not like a psych ward in a hospital. In a jail. The psych wards aren't like a psych ward that I've been on. They're isolated in a room by themselves, cameras, a metal bed with a thin little mattress, a toilet in the corner with a sink. You're not in a day room reading books and chatting with other people. It's not like you would think it is.
Yeah, exactly.
And
Exactly.
Gas, you're totally right. If this guy had a gun, he got 2 people and tried to mow down 3 people. He didn't have a gun. If he had a gun, how many people would he have killed? Oh my God. Like, I wrote it down before you even brought it up. I was like, guns equal increased death. I was totally on the same line with you, man.
People think that we don't have guns in this country. We do. You can get guns in this country. It's very difficult. I actually looked into it, funny enough, the other day to see how easy or hard it would get to get a gun license. And one of the things that the Met will ask you, the Met Police, is why would you want a gun? And that's probably the hardest thing to answer, because at least people who own farms and stuff might need a gun to shoot off vermin or whatever. Why do I need a fucking gun? And I don't. I really don't.
Well, the gun. I mean, you need to be either for game, clay pigeon shooting and all that, or like legitimate hunting license in order to get a gun. You can't just have a fucking gun. Like I said, and the majority of gun owners in this country are farmland owners. They own large properties.
Yeah, and the other thing that annoys me is the fact that people think that people have just done this. No, there's been assessments, there's been psychological evaluations, there's been testing, there's been all this stuff to make it sure that he had diminished capacity. That's the word, diminished capacity, and it did. They came to the conclusion that's what he had.
Yeah, and to Vance's point here as well, like he can't purchase a gun because he's prescribed medical marijuana. I wouldn't be allowed a gun license in this country, even if I did end up living on a farm, because I suffer with depression and have a history of being on antidepressants and all this kind of stuff. Yeah, so I won't be allowed to have a gun for that reason, because the majority of people that in that mental state that will do that will blow their brains out. You know what I mean? So
yeah. It's funny you brought that
in
up.
America, just walk into a shop and pick one up, no problem.
Yeah.
No, but we can go into a shop and buy BB guns.
Well, I'm going to blow my brains out with a BB gun. It's just going to hurt. I've been shot in the head with a BB gun many a times. It just fucking hurts.
I've seen like guns which that work on canistered gas and stuff like that, and they shoot pellets. And
those are BB guns.
No, yeah, but the point is, I still think guns like that, if they could possibly kill if you get people in the right spot. be right between the eyes, right there. Could do it. Could do the job.
Just shoot them in the dick and then kick them when they're down. That's the best way. Because those BB guns, that's what I said. I've been shot with a BB gun. That's what they are. They're gas powered. They just fucking hurt.
I used to own an air pistol back in the day. My brother did, like a Webley Hurricane, and all of those sort of things. My God, the lever that shit was so fucking hard. It looked pretty cool, but yeah, we get rifles in this country. You can get those like repeater rifles that you see the cowboys use. You see Red.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind one of those. That'd be pretty cool. I do plan on putting because that box there, that long rectangular box. Can you see it?
Yeah.
My brother's 54th birthday present. It's a set of 3 samurai swords. I'm leaving it in that box because I don't want to open up a box and have it loose swords in my car in case I get pulled over, and it's harder to explain. Keeping it in the box and saying it's a present is a lot easier to explain if I ever get pulled over by the cops. But I do now, after seeing these swords, I want to have a fucking samurai sword of my own, and I'm going to put it right in between my bed and that picture of Vader and Boba Fett. Oh, it's going to look beautiful.
I've got samurai swords. They're in the fucking loft. I've got side daggers, ninja stars. That was my teens when I went through my ninja phase. Only because they were cool to have.
The Shuriken. They're called.
Listen, TLD. Again, we're not anti-gun. We're just talking about mental health and gun ownership. That's it.
Yep.
That's it.
And responsible gun owners.
Yeah, we're not against gun ownership. Yeah, I fucking love guns. I love guns.
Yeah, guns are cool, man. Guns are cool.
They're also
one of my favorite channels is Kentucky Ballistics.
Many guns, and I want to use them again. But just do it responsibly.
Yeah, that's it. Background checks and strict gun control for
but
not in the hands of maniacs. It's as simple as that.
These are weapons of murder and death and all of that, and people have to acknowledge that, and realize that it's not these weapons, regardless of the Second Amendment, all of that shit. It's not for everyone. There's some people who should never have their hands on a fucking gun, ever.
Christine.
And there's a huge difference between like a bolt action rifle that you're going to go hunting with, and a weapon that can take a magazine with like a 55 round mag on it, that shoots at a high rate of speed, both semi and automatic. Like there's rifles for hunting, and then there's war weapons.
And responsible gun ownership is also important. Well, the amount of stories I hear of people like laying their fucking Berettas around the house, and then their kid picks it up and kills the parent, or kills themselves, or kills their sibling, or something along those lines. Like all of these things, like they need to be taken into account. I mean, it's pretty cool. America is kind of lax to a degree with their guns. At the same time, it isn't, because you have the highest gun death rate and one of the highest murder rates. The highest murder rate, in the first world. So it's fucked in that sense. It's good.
Okay, guys.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm gonna cut us off there because I'm really lagging. Join us tomorrow, by the way. We are going to be doing a watch along for the WWE Royal Rumble. Can't wait. Been avoiding spoilers all week. I don't know what's going to happen, who's doing what, surprises, all that kind of shit that all these stupid fucking wrestling channels love to spoil for some reason, because they don't want to live in the world of surprises. So yes, we'll be on that tomorrow. Anyone who wants to join us. And on that note, I want to thank all my lovely co-hosts and everyone that joined in on the chat. And we will see you again for the next one. Good motherfucking bye.